the first medical podcast from the American Association.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AI in Obstetrics and Gynecology Hub. I hope this webinar is beneficial for everyone, and it's a pleasure to have all of you guys with us today. I'm Dr. Toa Mustafa, and I will start with a brief company profile where I will explain the services that we offer. Okay, so who are we? We are the American Association for Continuous Education. We are an international organization that provides continuous medical education programs for physicians. What do we care about? We care about not just the theoretical, we care about offering more practical training. So 70% of our courses are focused more on practical workshops than theoretical. We were founded in 2017. We have branches in America, in Egypt, in UAE, and KSA. And we will also have a new branch in the new administrative capital in Cairo, which will open in about 2 years. This is a document that proves that we have a branch in Delaware in America. And our community, so we care about offering continuous medical education to everyone from different countries. So we're not just focused on the Middle East, but internationally. So we have had attendees to our courses from the USA, the UK, Brazil, Netherlands, etc. So what is our vision? We aim to be the leaders of continuous medical education worldwide. Where are we accredited from? Our first accreditation is from the American Association of Continuing Medical Education, which is from San Francisco, USA. And we are also the regional partner in the Middle East and North Africa, or the MENA region. We are also accredited from the Accreditation Council for Continuing Medical Education, which is a much stronger accreditation than the previous one, because this is where colleges like Johns Hopkins and Stanford are accredited from. We are also accredited from the Dubai Health Authority when we give courses in Dubai or the UAE. We're also accredited from the National Quality Institute from Cairo. And we are also ISO certified. We have 2 ISO certifications. First one is ISO 9001, which provides continuing medical education for healthcare professionals, which is a quality management system certification. And our other one is the ISO 21001, which is specific to continuing medical education. And we are one of 5 organizations that have this accreditation in the Middle East. So what is the importance of accreditation? First of all, it gives us the strategy. It always audits the curriculum and the instructors to make sure that we give the most updated information to healthcare professionals. And who have we cooperated with before? For our most memorable, the World Health Organization, or the WHO, also the Jordan Medical Association, the International Menopausal Society, Sharia University, the Thinkin Academy, also the Saudi Society of Obstetrics and Gynecology, which proves that there is trust between us and the medical community. So what courses have we offered? We have offered a cardiac training course in Cairo, which was in awareness to the popularity of C-section, because we are number 3 worldwide that do cesarean sections. For no reason, we're trying to decrease the incidence, and we received a warning from the WHO. And we did this in cooperation with the Ministry of Health and Population and Princess Fatma Academy. We also did this training for awareness across Upper Egypt. What else do we offer? We've also had a family planning training course, which was in cooperation with the WHO, as well as Ain Shams University, and the Ministry of Health and Population. Okay, so what fields do we give courses in? We are pioneers in obstetrics and gynecology, which is the webinar we're in today in this field, and dermatology, as well as surgery and internal medicine. So what courses do we offer in OBGYN? The first diploma is the Aesthetic Gynecology Professional Diploma. We are the pioneers of this course in Egypt. We introduced this to the Middle East. We have trained more than 7,000 doctors, over 60 professional diplomas. We also have an infertility and IVF professional diploma, where we have trained more than 3,500 doctors. We've conducted more than 35 diplomas, as well as an ultrasound professional diploma, where we have trained more than 3,000 doctors and conducted more than 35 professional diplomas, as well as the placenta accreta spectrum, which is also to raise awareness of its incidence as well, so it's increased recently, and the family planning course, which I've discussed before. Okay, so what courses we're planning to offer from the beginning of 2026? The first one, the basic OBGYN professional diploma, and the bleeding in pregnancy professional diploma. What else do we offer in surgery? We offer a laparoscopy professional diploma, a hysteroscopy professional diploma, and a colposcopy professional diploma. Okay, so other than the courses, we also offer fellowships. We have a current fellowship going on, which is in minimally invasive surgery. Okay, and we will also introduce a new fellowship in IVF in the beginning of 2026. Okay, what else do we offer other than fellowships and courses? We offer conferences. So it was specialized in aesthetic gynecology. We started in 2020. And so we moved from that to pelvic health and intimate health. And our conference this year in 2025 was in July. It specialized in 3 subspecialties. So it wasn't just aesthetic gynecology. So it was aesthetic gynecology and IVF and infertility and gynecological endoscopy. And next year, so stay tuned for our 4th subspecialty that we will also be introducing to our conference. So it works, they all work simultaneously. Okay. Watch a short video over conferences. Next year will be our 6th edition of the conference, and we care that we offer the most updated information, whether it's from international or national speakers. Okay, and our last service, which are hubs, or just like the one we're in right now, which are webinars. So what webinars have we offered before? We've offered one in fertility and arts, fetal medicine hub, pregnancy-related complications hub, and minimally invasive surgery hub, as well as internal medicine. And our last one in July was about clinic management. So without further ado, let's start with the one we're in right now, which is about AI and obstetrics and gynecology. We will start off with our first speaker, who is Mr. Bhautik Kumar. He is the founder of Integrity World for communication coaching with AI. He has a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from Sarvajanik College in India. And the topic he will speak about is AI applications in an OBGYN clinic. Hello, Mr. Kumar, are you with me?
Okay, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm sure everyone is doing well, and thank you so much for inviting me on this amazing, I would say it's not just a webinar, but it's a conversation that we all are going to do today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Sorry?
It's a pleasure to have you with us. It's an honor for
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. And all the participants, right? Those who are available on this meeting, you are requested to switch on the cameras because we are somewhere where we are going to do some interaction. I'll be questioning, and you will also get something new, some new perspective about AI. Yeah. Okay. So, welcome, Mohammed, Azza, Ryan, then Fatma, Basant, Rana, Bishoy, Eman. I want to welcome every one of you. Now, when it comes to the AI, when you heard something about the word AI, then it is not just an artificial intelligence, right? When it comes to the word that name as AI, but for me, it is not just an AI. For me, it is actionable insights. For me, it is amazing integrity. So the thing is, when it comes to the AI, people have something in their mind that they want to be more productive, they want to be more effective, they want to be more communicative, and all these problems are already AI is solving nowadays. Before moving on the session, I just want to ask you, I just want to tell you that in this room, total three different categories of people are available. The first category of people are just here to come and came here to know something new. How many of you are in this category? Write down I in the chat box, everyone. That yes, I'm in the category that yes, I want to know something new about AI, new perspective about AI. Write down I in the chat box. Right. Let me start first. You are in the category that okay, right? I got some email, I got some notification, and let me go there. Let me explore something. Yeah. Okay, got it. I. Okay, getting more eyes. Okay, great. Second category of people are there who are just here, and you are in the category of judging something. You are judging that 100 people are there. You are judging that okay, session has been started. You are judging that what will be happen. So you are in this category of judgment. If you are in this category, write down C in the chat box, everyone. You are in this category. You are judging something and no worries about it, right? We all are human beings, so this happens. Okay, almost no one. And the third category, what I want to tell you, I just want to invite you to be in this category where we all are time investor. Yes, my dear friend, when any time investor is there, he will think that okay, today I'm going to invest my 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hour of my life where I'm going to see something about AI. How can I get the maximum output from there? And I want to welcome you to be in this third category of time investor. So how many of you want to be in this category of time investor? Write down T in the chat box, everyone, quickly. Yes, I'm the time investor. Write down T. Let me start first. I'm the time investor. Okay, me. Thank you so much, Mohammed. Yes. Okay, T. Thank you, Fatma. Shyama, Beher. Okay, got it. Yeah. So when time investment comes in the picture, at that time, AI comes because AI is not for me just a tool, but AI for me is a transformation. And when transformation comes, at that time, learning comes in the picture, my dear friend. Right? Just imagine that from this world, electricity has gone. No electricity is available with you. Right? So suddenly lights will be shut off. One time will be there when your laptops, your systems, everything will be shut down, right? Gradually, the things near about you, right, they will be start deteriorating. And the thing is, once the time will come that nothing will be there with you, which are artificially made. And AI is a new electricity nowadays. Yes, my dear friend. So when it comes to the AI is for me is new electricity. So today, what I just want to convey a message with you, right? That is first, just let me tell you that how many of you are using some AI tools and what AI tool you are using. Write down in the chat box, right? Different category of AI tools will be there, right? Quickly, everyone, what AI tools? Let me share my screen with you so that you can have access of some AI tools, right? Those doing really great in the market. That is ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Meta AI, Perplexity, Copilot, Midjourney. Many different tools are available in the market. So what AI tool that you use, write down in the chat box. Okay, that Gemini, Meta AI chatbot, Perplexity, ChatGPT and Gemini. Okay, ChatGPT. Okay, great. So now I can see that right now 100 people are in the room and approximate 15 people tell me that, okay, they have been using the AI tool. Now, the $1 billion question to you is how many of you are using the paid AI tool? Paid AI tool. Write down P in the chat box, everyone. Paid. You are paying some dollars, you are some paying some rupees, right? Whatever the currency you are in, you are paying for the tool, right? One, two. So out of 100 people, we can say, 4 or 5 people will be there. They are just paying for the tool. So before moving on, I just want to tell you that only one message is there with me, that don't be cheap on your journey towards greatness. When we want to get something out of the AI tool, at that time, this is first and foremost thing, that don't be cheap on your journey towards greatness, because it's a rule of nature. It's a law of nature that it doesn't give, it returns. And when you give something to something, at that time you have the more chances to get the maximum output from this. So promise me that from now onwards, whenever you are using any tool, you are exploring, that is fine, but when you are using to grow your business, to make your hospital to the next level, to get some counseling from the AI tool, that works. But for that you will pay, and when you pay, there are high chances to get something out of it. Now I just want to tell you some use cases which you can add in your day-to-day life. As a doctor, many different things are there which you can add in your life to make it more productive and more effective. Before that, I just want to ask you one question, that when it comes to the AI, at that time prompt engineering comes in the picture. The more effective prompt you give, the more effective results you will get. How many of you agree with this? Write down A in the chat box, everyone. Write down A if you are agree. Write down A. The more effective prompt you give, the more effective results you will get out of it. Okay, A, agree, right? Now, do you write the effective prompt? Be authentic, be proud. And the answer, many times it says, no, either I think so that I'm writing it, but I don't think so that it is really, I'm writing a good prompt. For that, I want to create one simple example, everyone, right? So let me create a story with you, right? And this is a story of super child formula. Whenever you want to write any prompt, at that time, you just need to take care about this simple super child formula, right? Okay. Now just imagine and consider that you are ordering to your child and giving him some $100, and you are ordering to get some ice cream, right? Just go and get the ice cream. So how many questions you will tell to him, like which ice cream do you need to buy, what category of it, what flavor will there. And you will also tell him that just take care while you are going somewhere on the road, right? This many amount I have given you, let's say $100 is given you, right? $40 will be come with you, right? And when you come, right, at that time directly come to the home, right? Otherwise it will be melted. The thing is that just to give a simple ice cream, purchasing, you are giving many instructions to your child. And the same thing you need to take care while you are prompting everyone. The thing is, the more accurate prompt you give, the more accurate, high chance are there to get the maximum output from that. So whenever you are writing the prompt, at that time take care that how effective you be. Now, what happens when it comes to the writing the prompt? At that time, people are there that, Baudik, I just want to write effective prompts, but I don't know how to write it. Otherwise, I don't have that vocabulary come in mind. I am super busy about with my, with my work. So what I created, that is one agent which can create a super prompt for me. And my dear friend, today I am going to tell you that how you can create your personal counseling call agent. How many of you want to create the agent for yourself? Write down A in the chat box, everyone, quickly. Today I am going to tell you that how you can make it. Quickly, everyone, write down A in the chat box. Very good, Shama, Fatma. Quickly, I need at least 20 A, right? Because that will again motivate me to, yes, how I can create it. Okay, 20 A, I just got 5. Okay, 7, 8, 9. Quickly, everyone, quickly write down A in the chat box. Right? Someone is telling how that I'm going to create it, create before I complete, right? No worries about it. And it is a damn simple process, everyone. So simple process. Yeah. Okay, quickly. Thank you so much, everyone, for the wonderful response on A. So before moving on, right, let me tell you that what prompt generator I created. And then after, I will teach you that how you can create your prompt with simple, small steps formula. Okay, right. So let me start this screen. Yeah. And this is the 4-step simple formula to create a super prompt. And when you want to create a super prompt, at that time, it is always necessary to define a clear role. Let's say I'm coming to your clinic and I'm not defined about that what things I just want to get something done from a doctor. Let's say I have a stomach pain, I have headache. At that time, it is so necessary that I go to the specialist. So in the same case, I will have to give the instruction of defining clear role to particular GPT. So by defining clear role, you will be like act as a senior OB or gynec with 20 years of experience of clinical experience specializing in infertility, pregnancy care, and women's wellness. My dear friend, just imagine that if you are giving something and it is giving the output, and when you are making him some specialized person, and then after it will give you output, both output will be the different one. Everyone, I am sure you are agree with this. So always define a clear role. Second, start with a clear instruction. What exactly you want to get out of it, right? So it is about explain how AI can improve patients' experience, operational efficiency in OB or gynec clinic. Third, specify the context or details. Focus on small and mid-sized fertility centers in India or in your country that want to increase patient trust, manage reviews, and provide personalized consultation. Everyone, can you see? I am creating a better, I am creating a specific input so that it can give me the output. And the fourth one is a set the desired tone. Use a simple conversational tone suitable for gynecologists exploring digital transformation. Many times it happens that in my experience I have seen, if I am meeting a doctor and he is telling me some technical language, then I will not be able to get some words. Let's say he's telling me that you need to get this paracetamol once a day, I will not get it. But if we say that okay, you need to get this medicine once a day, that will be easy for me to understand. The thing is, my dear friend, when you have the specified context, it will give you the better results. And when there is a desired tone is defined, you will be able to get the accurate output of it. And your final prompt will be act as a senior OB or gynecologist with 20 years of experience and explain how artificial intelligence can help improve patient communication, automate follow-ups, and generate consistent Google reviews for IVF clinic in simple and professional tone. My dear friend, how many of you think that yes, this is the exact a super prompt which can give you the better results? How many of you are agree? Write down P in the chat box. That is P for prompt. Everybody, quickly write down P. Yes, this is what the prompt can give you the more accurate results that you have been getting out of it. Quickly, everyone. One, two, three, four. Right now, 100 people are in this room, and I am getting 4, 5 responses. No, 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 my dear friend. I need your participation because magic is not in this presentation. Magic is in participation. Okay, great, great, great. Quickly, everyone, write down P, 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 P. Yes. Now, thank you so much, everyone, for the amazing response. Now, what happens? We have the knowledge that we should write the effective prompts, but we are not able to do this. Why? Because we don't have the certain time. So, what did I create for you? And that is a simple prompt generator. Everyone, right? So, let me share my screen again where I can tell you that how you can create this super prompt. Yeah. Okay, quickly, everybody. Where is my Zoom screen? Okay, this is what here is. And let me share my screen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is what the super prompt generator. Now, what I need to give him, right? I just need to say hi, and it will give me instructions that what I want. I am just writing say hi. And it will ask me that what kind of details it requires. Oh, just a minute, it went somewhere else. Okay, I have just said, sorry. Okay, I have just said hi. And it is giving me that tell me these two things. What is your profession and what kind of results you want to get, right? Let's say I'm in a profession. I am gynec, sorry, gynecologist. And I want to generate 30 days of content for my patient's pain point. Everyone, right? And after giving this two simple things, it will generate a 4-step formula for you. Everyone, see, this is the magic. What you need to do, just copy it and paste it, right? See, here it is. Act as a senior gynecologist, content strategist. So, how it will act like? It will not act like just a content strategist, but he will act like a content strategist who has been working with some gynecologist, right? With a deep expertise in women's health education, it has defined this clear role. Then 30 days of content plan. This is instruction. Then there are some things it has added, such as menstruation issues, pregnancy concerns, PCOS, menopause, fertility, sexual health, hygiene, everything it has created. Now, what I need to do, just copy this, go to GPT and paste it. Simple. And it will create 30 days of content clear calendar for you, everyone. Right? It is just creating day wise plan. Right? Day one, why period pain is not normal. Second day, 5 early signs of PCOS for every girl should know. Right? And it is continuously creating all the things. Now, what you need to do? Now, you must be there. I want to, create some content out of it, right? Let's say it has created for 15 days. I'm just stopping it, right? Because due to some time constraint. Now, what I am getting, everyone, just look at this, right? Now, give me a 30-second video script using PAS framework for the topic of day one, and it will create the entire script. I no need to do anything. Everyone, let's say though I am not a doctor, but I can create the better reel right now. Okay, in front of you right now, I am creating everyone. Okay, right? Let's say this is my teleprompter in front of me, and I'm creating. Every month you take painkillers. Every month you curl up with with hot water bags, and every month you tell yourself it's normal. Everything gets a period pain, but that relief is exactly what keeping you in pain. Severe cramps, heavy bleeding, nausea, back pain. These are not signs of normal period. This can indicate PCOS, fibroids, and hormonal imbalance. Ignoring them only delays diagnosis and increasing the suffering. Hi. Severe period pain is medical condition, not routine. So if your pain stops your daily work, you need to check up. not another painkiller. So, what are you waiting for? Click on this below given button, book your consultation right now, get proper evaluation, and take control of your health, because your health is not just your life. Everyone, so simple. Everybody, right? Though I'm not a doctor, I don't know what kind of vocabularies are there, but I am able to create a simple 30-second video. How was it? Write down everyone. How was it? How was that experience? Write down in your words, right? Someone is writing great. How was it? Everybody quickly. Perfect, great, wow. Okay, great, good. Okay, fantastic. Wow. Can you show me the questions? Okay, right. Okay, let me share my screen again. Right. So these are the questions which I have created. This is the simple prompt. So what I'm doing, right? No worries, everyone. No worries about anything. I'm just copying this link and I'm pasting in the right now chat box so that you will have the access of what I have created right now. I'm just pasting this link. Okay, right now. So this is what the thing I have created for you. But my dear friend, let me show you a magic. How many of you are ready for the magic? Write down M in the chat box, everyone. Quickly write down M in the chat box. I'm going to show you. Okay, perfect. I was muted with some technical glitch, but it's fine. Okay, so almost many of the people are ready for the magic, right? So let me share my screen again and let me show you magic. See, this is the simple one AI agent which I have created for the patient's counseling agent, right? This is what its name is, right? Patient's counseling agent. How can I talk with it, right? It is by simply saying hi. And when I'm saying hi, at that time, it will get something from me, right? That welcome to ABC Infertility Center, Patients Counseling Agent. How can I support you today? Now, every one of you know that you can write down something and you will get out of it. Yes or no? Right? Let's say I want to book an appointment. How can I do? These are the simple processes that you have been doing it, right? It will create some content, but my dear friend, how it will be so effective where you can talk with it, everyone. So let me talk with this agent right now, right? So I'm starting talking with it. Okay. Yeah. Hey, hi.
Hey there. Hi again. If you need anything else, just let me know. I'm here to help with your appointment or any questions you might have.
Yeah, actually, I just want to know something about your hospital, and I also have some queries that how your hospital services can be helpful to me.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to give you a little overview. So at ABC Infertility Center, we specialize in helping couples with their fertility journey using IVF and related technologies. We focus a lot on making sure you feel supported emotionally and that you understand each step of the process. If you have any specific questions or concerns, whether it's about the services we offer, the treatment steps, or just how we can be helpful to you personally, feel
Okay,
free to
right.
ask
So
away.
just tell me that how to deal with PCOS.
Of course, I can give you a bit of insight on that. So, when it comes to dealing with PCOS or polycystic ovary syndrome, at ABC Infertility Center, we approach it in a very personalized way. We know PCOS can affect your fertility and your overall hormone balance, so we look at your specific symptoms, your life.
Everyone, isn't it mind blowing? You just train this, and you can give this to your patients when they have anything that they have query except getting the medicine. They can have the counseling from this AI agent. And today I am going to tell you that how you can create it. Everyone, right? Thank you so much, right? It was amazing. Yes or no? It was nice experience that wow, my dear friend, what you need to do, right? Just create your agent, right? Get the link and you can give the same link to your patients that whenever you have anything, you just counsel with this agent, and if you don't get any answer, then you can come or you can call to us. Everyone, right? So just tighten your seatbelt because I'm going to tell you that how you can create this kind of AI agent for your hospitals. Everyone, how many of you are ready? Everyone, write down R in the chat box quickly that yes, I am ready. Quickly, everybody, write down R in the chat box. Where I'm going to tell you that how you can create this. Literally, so easy method, so simple method. Okay, right. So what I'm going to do first, to create this agent, you need to have minimum Go version or Pro version of ChatGPT with you. Okay, right. And when you have this, you can go to this Explore. Just go to Explore, click on this Create button, and here you will have all the things to be filled. Now, let's say patient, I'm giving this patient's counseling agent for, let's say, ABC hospital, right? Let's say my hospital name is ABC, right? I don't want to give any description. We'll say, just say, sorry, helping patients for the counseling. Now, the instruction is so important. Now, what kind of instruction you need to give? No worries. I'm giving you this again same second bot which will create all the instruction for you, and that is Codex Creator. When I'm coming to this Codex Creator, right? First of all, let me copy this and give it to you so that you can create it at any time, right? Give me a minute. Let me copy this link and I am sharing this in the chat box. Now, when you come to this codex generator, right, just say hi, right? Let's I'm saying hi, and it will ask me that I need this three type of things or three kind of questions. So answer me this first. So it is asking me that okay, I need this four instruction. Okay, right? So I am just giving this. What is your name? Let's say I am Bhautik Kumar. What is your business name? It is ABC Hospitals. What is your profession? I am gynecologist. And what do you want to for patients counseling? Everyone. And what you need to do, just hit the enter. Just hit the enter and you will get the whole thing prepared for you. Okay, right now it is generating, right? This is patient counseling codex, right? It has created Dr. Bhautik Kumar, ABC Hospitals, right? This will help you to deliver structured, empathic, and accurate counseling for the gynecology patients, right? Okay, so it is creating some questions. Let's say, can you describe symptoms, right? This kind of, right? Whatever the doctor language is there, right? It is creating. So what you need to do, just let it be, right? It will take some 10 or 20 seconds, right? Not more than that. It is creating some sections. And what this codex is about, the codex is about some common questions which your patients ask usually to the doctors, right? So what you need to do as it gets created, it is just creating some sections: lifestyle, preventive health, then do you smoke, right? Drink alcohol or experience high stress? Small things it is just getting, it is covering, right? Let's say this is done, everyone. So these are some questions that your GPT will tell him, or they will answer them. So what you need to do, just copy this, go to this agent, right, and paste it. And my dear friend, I just want to tell you that if you want to master this GPT, You must be good at copy and paste, right? Just joking apart, but this is so important. Here I'm just instructing him that patient counseling codex will help my patients for counseling and appointment booking. Everyone done? So easy. Control C, Control V, right? And what you need to do, just click here on the right corner, just create it. Just create it, everyone. And now the link is ready. Just save it. And I am going to give this link to you, everyone, right? So give me a moment. It is just being created. Just in a minute, it will be created, and that your patient's counseling agent for your hospital will be ready, right? This is ready. This is the link, right? I am just opening this and I am sharing the same agent link with you too, which you can experience at your place. Yeah. So this is what again I have created. This is my agent, which I created for my hospital. And what I need to do, this is I'm talking to him, right? Everyone listen to this. Hey, hi.
Hi there. Absolutely listening. Whenever you're ready to share or if you have any questions, just let me know and we can dive in.
Yeah, so just I want to ask that how your hospital helps patients to, to get pregnant using your IVF technology.
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked. So, at ABC Hospitals, we have a comprehensive IVF program that's designed to support couples who are trying to conceive. We basically guide you through every step from initial counseling about your reproductive goals.
Everyone, yes or no? How was it? For how many this was mind blowing? Write down MB in the chat box. Everybody, write down MB in the chat box. It is mind blowing. Quickly, MB. You can create your own agents, voice agents. Just simply, right? What I created just in 3-4 minutes. And if you are not habituated about using ChatGPT, no worries. At least you give half an hour and you will be able to create this. So simple. It is not rocket science. So this is how the AI is emerging in daily life and the way it is going far away, right? It is amazing. This was one magic. Now I have only 5 minutes in my hand and I want to show you second magic. Do you want to see the second magic? Everyone, write down two in the chat box. Two. Write down two in the chat box, everyone. Yes, second magic. Are you ready? Okay, got it. So if you have a mobile phone, right, then scan this QR code. And if you don't have the mobile phone, no worries. I'm just providing a link to you and you can click on that, right? Uh, I'm just giving a link with you. I'm sharing a link with you in the chat box. When you are clicking on that link, right, you will be going here, right? Some keywords will be there, right? You will get some best AI coaching, right? More services. And my dear friend, it creates the Google review for your hospital. When you click on this particular keyword, it will generate the specific AI review, just like this. That Bautik has truly transformed my approach to AI. The insights I got from the session at American Association for continuous education was truly invaluable. And when you click on this particular button, copy and post, you will be redirected here. And what you need to do, just click on the 5 star, paste it here, and here is a button, post. Click on this, and your 5 star review will be ready. Everybody, just imagine then when any new patient comes, he or she comes after looking at your Google review. Let's say you have a patient flow of daily 100 patients. You will be easily able to get 10 reviews a day. And 10 reviews a day will be more than 3,000 review in a year. Everybody, am I communicating? So simple, right? So this is the tool which I have again shared with you, that you can get more authentic and SEO friendly reviews for your hospitals. Everyone. Yeah. So I'm sure it was a wonderful time for you, and it was really a great time for me also. I'm so much thankful to American Association for inviting me as a speaker, and I'm sure that I must have given you something of the value out of participation in this 20 to 30 minutes of session. Right? So this is what all from my side. If you need this presentation, you can scan the above QR code, and I'm also sharing the same link with you, right? So that you can get in your box. Yeah, this is what all from my side. Thank you so much, everyone. With this, sayonara. Yes, everyone. If any question is there, then you can ask me. Yes, over to you, everyone.
Thank you so much. This was an amazing session. We can wait a little more.
Dr. Patrick, thank you so much for this amazing and great session. It was very, very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All attendees, if you have any question, you can ask Dr. Patrick.
Yes, everybody. Two kind of people don't ask the question. First, who gets everything, and second, who didn't get anything.
Yeah.
Got it. And I'm sure you're in the category where you got all the things that what I have created. I know it was somewhere fast, but it is so easy, right? Okay, got it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Got it. Thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah.
And we will invite you again in all upcoming webinars. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
always. I'll be happy. Hana Kasam is writing that how you can create. Right. So this is what presentation is given, right? The below link is that where you can create the Google reviews. My email ID and contact number is also there. So if you need any kind of support on this AI, then you can get it here. Yeah. So
Thank you
everyone
so
can
much.
take screenshot. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we want to welcome Dr. Niveen Makram Labid. She's a professor of AI and data science and chair of Computer and Information System Department in Sadat Academy. And she was awarded as a Woman of the Year for AI leadership from International Royal Club of the United Nations. She will discuss today AI in electronic medical records systems. Now, Dr. Niveen, you can join us. Dr. Naveen?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, great. You can
Okay.
start. Welcome to our webinar.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be hosted by you, by the American Association for Continuous Education. And I really enjoyed the presentation. So thank you very much for the first speaker. So now we will try to embark on a different journey, maybe talking about how AI is dealing with EMR, with the medical records. How can we get many benefits out of having AI techniques and applying these techniques in the medical records? That's why I selected this topic, and I thought about making it that we're turning the dead data that we're having into some predictive intelligence. So first of all, we're facing many challenges right now. We're talking about healthcare professionals. That's the EMR paradox. We're supposed to have huge amounts of data. However, we're not really benefiting out of these data, and that's a real problem for us. So let's see how we can change this. So right now, having maybe some noisy data, some irrelevant data, we cannot get any good insights. So we come up with some poor insights, and that's the main problem for us. I tried to work on a survey and to gather some of the current challenges faced by the healthcare professionals. So we're talking about the documentation burden. We're supposed to have kind of a system so as to be able to document all of the data relevant to the patient, his or her patient, the history, the family history, the lab test, and all of these data. But we end up having many documents that are not really useful. We have another problem, which is the data silos. So we're talking about different departments in any institution and fragmented data. So we come up with different files that sometimes have some redundant data, some contradictory data, and so on. And we have, by the end of the day, to take a decision based on the data. That's why we call it the dead data problem. Many huge data that is stored, but that cannot really be useful for our decision making whenever it comes to the medical decision making. But can these challenges be dealt with the AI? Let's first talk about AI, because sometimes some people mistake the word AI for the simple automation. So here we're not talking about simple automation. We're not talking about just making use of software and hardware and network and all of the equipment so as to get some reports and some information, but we're talking about the simulation of all of the tasks that we can do as humans. These tasks can be simulated and it can be done by other programs or by equipment. That's why I thought that I should shed some light on the useful terms in our domain. So we're not talking only about AI, but we're talking about machine learning, deep learning, and the Gen AI, which was actually the topic of the first presentation. So here we're talking about how we can develop some systems, some programs that can simulate our intelligence whenever it comes to prediction, to decision making, to learning from past experience, and so on. But with the machine learning and deep learning, we allowed these systems and these programs to learn without having to interfere as humans. And although that's kind of a powerful technique, on the other hand, sometimes it poses some risks for us as humans. I will tackle the AI in my presentation from a data perspective, because here we're focusing on the use of data. We have wealthy data in all of our institutions, but we need to work on a framework so as to benefit out of these data whenever it comes to the medical decision making, to improve our medical decision making. So we start by describing the current situation. We have many data, so how can we classify these data? Maybe based on gender, maybe based on geographic location, maybe based on style of life of the patient, and so on. So that's our first step. And then we need to focus on the reason why. Why do we have some discrepancies? Why are some people not really relying on our treatment? Why are we getting some unexpected results from some treatment protocols and so on? And then we work on the prediction parts. And that's kind of the real power of artificial intelligence. What will happen next? What do we expect? What do we need as medical equipment? What about the drug discovery and so on? So that's the prediction and that's the predictive power of the AI. And then we go for the prescriptive. So with the prescriptive, we tackle the different scenarios that might happen. Maybe we're forwarding and we're looking about some nice scenarios, or maybe we'll be facing some real bad and negative scenarios. So how can we be proactive, not reactive? We can do so if we can apply AI techniques in a proper manner so as to get the most out of the currently available data. That's the focus of my talk. On the other hand, we have some emerging trends that might be very helpful for us as healthcare professionals. Start by the XAI or explainable AI. Why? Because sometimes we used to call these systems black box. What do we mean by black box? We mean that we have a system that is very nice, very powerful, and that it comes with some predictions and some prescriptions. However, the system cannot explain how it came with this decision. So we as human beings, we cannot rely on it. sometimes we have a problem of trust because it cannot really explain why it reached this specific decision. That's what we're working on, especially in healthcare. And the federated learning for privacy preserving data sharing, which is again very important, especially when we talk about healthcare. What about the sensitive data? What about the use of data? And that's why different countries nowadays are working on the data governance law. How can we benefit out of data? How can we disseminate results taken out of these studies? But on the other hand, we need to preserve the data sharing. So the final maybe trend that we're working on nowadays is the AI agent, the agentic AI. With the agentic AI, we have kind of a personal assistant. And this personal assistant is capable to help us in performing all of the tasks. We train a system, let's say a program, we write a program, we train the program, and then the program or the system knows how to act. And then it plans for this performance, and we kind of revise it every now and then. And if we need sometimes to retrain it, we do it. But we end up having a personal assistant, which is higher than having kind of an assistant that is only answering questions. That's why we need to tackle all of the capabilities of the AI, not only the ChatGPT and the generative AI, which is very important and very crucial in today's life, but we can also benefit out of having some personal assistant with us using the AI techniques. Now, how can we make use of all of these capabilities when it comes to EMR? We have the AI layer here as a brain for the existing system. We're not talking about replacing EMR, we're talking about benefiting out of the data in these records. So let's tackle the data. In our IT jargon, we have the structured and the unstructured data. What do we mean by structured? Structured are kind of codes that we can use. And with these codes, things are very simple, so we can handle the structured data in a very easy way. Some examples of the structured data are, for example, the different diagnoses, the procedures for the different processes in any healthcare institution, the medication orders, like the list of drugs, the dosage, the lab tests, which are for us quantitative results that we can rely on in our analysis, the vitals and observations, like heart rate, especially if we're talking about having some connection with the patient all the time. So we need to have some stream of these data and to work on it, and the checklists that are used in any institution. So these are structured data that are really easy to handle for us whenever we talk about automation before talking about AI. But AI here is more important whenever we talk about the unstructured. Why? Because with unstructured, we're talking about some clinical notes. And these clinical notes are taken by different people. So we don't really have a template, like in the case of the structured clinical data. Now we have some intake notes, we have some summaries, we have some progress notes, and all of these are totally unstructured. These like the comments that the medical doctor can add. Maybe sometimes the nurse adds some comments, some feedback related to the patient, and so on. We also have the reports, especially those related to pathology, radiology. And again, with the reports, we don't have a template. So each and every healthcare professional here, whenever it comes to unstructured clinical data, has its own way of writing these notes. In addition, we have the audio or voice data that became now essential for us. So now we have the structured and the unstructured. In addition, we have some external and operational data. Like, for example, the patient-generated health data. So we're talking here about information that is gathered outside of the clinical setting, especially if we rely on the medical IoT. So with the medical IoT, we're talking about some wearable devices, and these wearable devices we can get many data out of it. Here we're talking about kind of streaming. So it's handled in a very different way. It's much more complicated than handling the structured data. We have the remote monitoring, and definitely we have the patient surveys. So again, we're talking about external data that is totally unstructured. In addition, we have some operational and administrative data, like the scheduling, like the admission, discharge, transfer, like the billing data, all of the financial data that we have in any institution. So having these three types of data, we can have just one system that applies the AI from a data analytics perspective, and that can have two main functions. First of all, it can summarize all of these data, whether we're talking about structured or unstructured, and we can have a full summary, a comprehensive summary that is very useful for us to take the proper decision. Again, it has a very good ability, which is the prediction. So it can, for example, forecast the patient deterioration hours in advance. As I'm mentioning all the time, we're talking about being proactive. So if we have a comprehensive summary and if we have some prediction patterns, then definitely we can act in a proactive manner. And that's very important whenever we talk about healthcare. So we might have some flagging risks before even they become crisis. We have two main applications that we can apply here. First of all, eliminating the burden. That's the ambient documentation. Instead of having the burden of taking notes and of the documentation, which many times we don't really have the time to do it in a professional manner, then we can go to AI and to have the ambient clinical intelligence. So here we have the AI as an assistant for us, and it can interpret all of the conversations. It can deal with all of the previously mentioned types of data. In addition, here we make use of the natural language processing, like what was mentioned in the first talk, and that was really engaging. So we can have kind of a conversation in our natural language, in English, in Arabic, and in different dialects. And that's really beneficial for us. So here we're talking about AI taking care of the documentation issue and coming up with a very comprehensive report that includes all of the required data. So we can eliminate the burden of documentation from healthcare professionals so that they can focus on the medical tasks. The second proposed application is the predictive clinical decision support. Here we're talking about a system that can help us in taking the proper and the most suitable decision, because in our, again, in our IT jargon, we don't use the right and wrong. We use the proper and suitable because it is related to many other factors. Here we're talking again about the shift from being reactive to providing proactive care. Whether it looks at the diagnosis and it can revise because sometimes we have some errors of omission, or it can determine kind of a personalized treatment, which is the core of applying AI in healthcare. How can we deal with each patient in a personalized manner? We cannot do so without the AI, because with the AI, we have many aspects and we cannot omit any diagnosis, we cannot omit any factor that can have an implication on the treatment protocol. To sum up here, we're talking about cognitive offload. So instead of perceiving EMR as a burden and as just a memory and as just data that is saved and stored in our healthcare institution, we will perceive it in a different and much better way, because it will empower us in our medical decision making. And here, the ultimate return on investment is not cost saving, but it is providing better patient care, proactive patient safety. That's the nice side of the story. but it's not that nice because we have some critical challenges. First of all, the data quality. We're talking about EMR, we're talking about AI from the data perspective. So we have to make sure that we are relying on good data, because garbage in, garbage out. These data should be updated, should be complete. We have many attributes that we need, first of all, to revise and to check whenever it comes to the data quality, because we will rely on these data in all of the process, whether we're talking about the prediction or the prescription or even the description from the start. We need to have good data. Another very critical challenge is the data privacy. That's why, again, our countries nowadays are talking about how we can govern the data. How can we make use of the data, and we have to preserve, on the other side, the privacy of the patient. A very crucial challenge as well is the algorithmic bias, and it is related to data. Sometimes we have biased data fed into the system. So when we train our system with biased data, we end up having a biased algorithm, and then we have biased results. So instead of having the artificial intelligence helping us in taking the most suitable decision, we have very bad results, and it all goes to the data quality. The trust, it's not really easy to trust a system because we have the accountability problem. What if we do trust the system? And what if we take the advice and if we take the recommendation from the system and anything wrong happens? Who will be responsible? Till now, the medical doctor or the healthcare professional or the decision maker will be responsible. That's why we still have a problem of trust. The explainability, and that's why we're actually working on the XAI, as I mentioned earlier, because we need to know how the system reached his decision. And finally, the integration and adoption, which requires an ecosystem, because to be able to adopt AI in our institutions, it's not only getting a system. We need to train the people, we need to have some regulations that are really pro applying AI. Since we're talking about healthcare, then we have many ethical considerations to observe. Since we'll be using the data, so we need definitely to focus on the patient-informed consent. We need, again, to preserve the patient data, and we need to be very aware if we have some biased data. Our final vision is having the AI as a co-pilot, clinical intelligence co-pilot. We need to make sure that EMR are not a load, but EMR will move from being just a record of the past to an intelligent systems guiding the future. Because artificial intelligence here is talking about a new era in patient care. Thank you very much, and I welcome any questions. So, do we have any questions, or is everything clear?
Dr. Naveen, thank you so much for this amazing session. It was very, very great.
Thank you very much, dear. Thank you.
Okay, waiting for your questions.
Okay.
Okay, reminder for you, for all of you, we send in chat a registration link for certificates. Register, please, to get your certificate. Okay. Now we want to introduce Dr. Sondos Selim. She's an associate professor and researcher in the productive health and family planning in National Research Center. She's a consultant of OBGYN Arts and Aesthetic Gynecology. She will discuss today with us the topic of AI in women health. Hello, Dr. Sandus. Hello, Dr. Sandus.
Hello, you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Yes, yes.
Hello, Dr. Nada, how do you do?
Everything is good.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to be with you in this hub of AI. Excuse me. I want to close this share screen first.
Yes, take your time.
It's my pleasure to be with you today in the American Association Hub entitling AI in the field of obstetrics and gynecology. And really, we are in the era of obstetric and AI and these tools that could help us greatly in our field. And we have to be in a step with the growing up tools in this field just for the sake of the patients. But always the rising question is, can AI tools substitute doctors? Can AI tools take the places of the doctors in taking the decisions? This is a very good questions we have to answer, and I thank Dr. Niveen for just arising those questions to be sure to arise and to ensure that only the AI tools could help in decision making and could help in arising thoughts, but for sure I don't think that it can substitute doctors even in the clinical field or even in the academic field. My talk today will be about artificial intelligence applications and the achievements in reproductive health. And I will give a general overview on the most important tools that is implemented in the field of obstetric and gynecology. And of course, my colleagues will go in depth and will go through the details. My agenda will be on fertility and IVF, smarter decision taking with AI, pregnancy care for early detection and monitoring, women's health, faster and more accurate diagnosis, and what's going on in the future, key AI advances coming soon, and the action plan and the thoughts for the coming in the futures. Of course, we know that artificial intelligence is a powerful tool in the field of reproductive medicine that could help us in the diagnosis, treatment, and patient outcome. What are the main objectives of artificial intelligence in the reproductive health that could help us as clinicians? It can help us in improving the diagnosis, where this could happen in early detection of certain conditions like PCOS and the endometriosis. In the field of fertility prediction, it can forecast ovulation and enhance artificial reproduction techniques successes. Also, it can help in tailoring and personalizing the care treatments using individualized health data. And also in the field of enhancing pregnancy monitoring using the artificial intelligence tools for better maternal and fetal health tracking. Advanced genetic screenings, which can enable non-invasive prenatal testing and risk assessments. And also it can expand access, provide telehealth solution for underserved regions, and support clinical decisions. Well, if we will start with in the field of fertility and IVF, smart decisions, there are many tools that can help us in predicting ovulation and fertility. And of course, prediction of ovulation time is a very cornerstone point in starting the process of ICSI cycle or any one of the IVF steps. Apps like Flu and Clue are now, I think that they are very well known, especially in the adolescents, and we are, as gynecologists, usually instruct our patients to download the Flu or Clue tools that could help them in tracking their cycles and predict the ovulation time. And if we make a comparison between the calendar tracking, the general calendar tracking, the ovulation prediction accuracy can rises up to 60%, while in the ovulation progesterone sticks, it can reach up to 85%. In comparison to the AI tools like Flu or Clue tools, it can reach 93%. In brief, what's the Flu tool? It's a consumer for menstrual health and fertility tracking app where it enters the patients enter the cycle data and passive signals to predict their periods, ovulation, and fertile windows, and also the symptoms. Partners with researchers to generate population level insights about cycle patterns, and it helps the patients just to inform her doctor whether there is any irregularity in her cycle or not, if she had a missed cycle, or if she has kinds of menorrhea or having 2 times cycles per month. Any irregularities in her cycles can be detected using these tools. What are the strength point by using this tool? It is data export option for sharing logs with healthcare providers, and also it can emphasize evidence-based modeling and reproducibility, and also it is helpful for longitudinal symptom tracking, especially for patients monitoring cycle irregularities. But of course, there are some limitation for this application, which is the Flu. I'm talking about the Flu application. There is major privacy concerns, investigations and lawsuits, early sharing of sensitive reproductive data with third parties, and also predictions are probabilistic, not diagnostics. Accuracy varies by using input and cycle regularity. Of course, this is because, as we all know, that the regularity of the cycles have different factors that can affect it. First of all, psychological factor, maybe some sort of hormonal disturbance of exogenous medications taken by the patients. طبعا those factors of course can affect the length of the cycle, can affect the pattern of the cycle, and this cannot be detected by the app. That's why don't rely always that the app is 100% accurate. The other app that is used to monitor the cycle is known the Clue app, and this is the first menstrual tracking app marketed as a class 1 medical grade device in some regions, where users use enter data plus population-based statistical models to predict cycle phases. Identifies correlations between cycles, mood, symptoms, and vitals using aggregated databases. The strength of the Clue app is that it is clear and accessible data export for patients to share with their clinicians. And also it is strong research transparency, regulating a partner with academic and publishing findings. And it is very useful for tracking long-term cycle trends and symptom patterns for clinical visits. And of course, also it has some limitations where the predictions depend heavily on accurate and consistent user input. That's mean that if the woman or the girl put a wrong date, of course, it will give inaccurate data. And also it is should be used as a supportive tool, not as a diagnostic tool. If we shift to another tools in the field of fertility and IVF, we have Life Whisper tool, and this is an AI embryo viability assessment tool. It is a commercial artificial intelligence platform that can analyze static embryo images to provide an objective, non-invasive viability score that can help the embryologist to choose the best embryo for transfer. How Life Whisper works, it can analyze static embryo images using deep learnings and can access the viability based on morphological features invisible to human eye. Also, it can provide viability scores within 30 seconds. The clinical benefits that it has a 20% improvement in pregnancy rates compared to traditional grading. This is according to fertility and sterility guidelines published in 2023. And it can reduce inter-embryologist variability and particularly effective for day 5 blastocyst. The limitations of the Whisperer tool is that it is not a replacement for genetic testing PGT-A, where that's why, because it can predictions enter morphologically link viability signals, but cannot directly assess the chromosomal ploidy, which is very, very important to be taken in consideration when we are searching or when we are analyzing the embryos that has to be transferred in an XY cycle. Also, there is some sort of bias where models trained on specific clinic cameras, workflows, and populations may underperform on different imaging setups or ethnic groups unless retained or validated locally. Depends according to how far the place is very well established and how far the tools and the kits, how far they are accurate. Of course, this will help in interpretations of the results. Clinical outcome gap, where a positive viability score does not guarantee live birth embryos. Reliance on AI without human oversight can shift selection practice in ways that are not yield fully proven to increase live birth rates in randomized trials. That's why we're always insisting that don't rely on these artificial intelligence tools only. Another tool that is used in the field of XY is the embryoscope. It is known as time-lapse with AI analytics. Its features its continuous embryo monitoring with automated annotations, and where the artificial intelligence predicts developmental potential based on cleavage time, blastulization patterns, and multinucleations events. Its advantage is that it's 15% reduction in time to pregnancy, 30% decrease in multiple gestation rates, and it can identify early compaction patterns predictive of euploidy and some sort of anomalies. The clinical implementations can get the advantage for patients with previous IVF failures and cases that requires babies and clinics with high patient volumes. The disadvantages of this tool that it is time-lapse imaging provides richer developmental data and improves workflow. However, evidence that time-lapse timing and plus AI improves live birth rates over high-quality conventional embryology. This is with mixed idea. Also, data overload and false confidence, where continuous imaging generates large data sets that can overwhelm or bias interpretations. Also, there is risk scores can create false confidence, especially when models are treated as definitive rather than advisory. Costs and access barriers. Of course, these kits or these tools are very expensive, so systems requires expensive incubators, software subscriptions, and AI analysis fees. This increases the overall cost of IVF. Smaller or resource-limited clinics may not find it cost-effective, other than some regulatory and validation gaps. So, better IVF success with artificial intelligence. AI boosts IVF pregnancy rates by 15 to 20%. Embryo selection can be done by the help of Live Whisperer or embryo scope. Live Whisperer has the characteristic of being fast, cost-effective first pass. Embryoscope comprehensive developmental analysis combine both the two tools together for optimal results in challenging cases. Always correlate with clinical context and patient history, because this is very important to rely only on these AI tools. If we turn to another field in obstetrics, AI tools can help in early warnings during the antenatal care period, where it can help in detecting preeclampsia. And as you all know, that preeclampsia is one of the diseases that it is hypertension with pregnancy-induced hypertension together with edema, plus the presence of albumin in urine. So early detection of course, this disease have many complications, maternal complications, fetal complications, maternal complications like having antepartum hemorrhage, having anemia, and postpartum complications. It may lead to a fetal death. So if we can early detect preeclampsia, this will help a lot. Models that can be used to detect preeclampsia is known as pre-TRM or preterm يعني, which can analyze blood tests and predict preeclampsia risks as early as 90 weeks. It works by analyzing the markers of placenta or growth factors that plus clinical data to predict preeclampsia risks. The best tools is pre-TRM or preterm. As we said, it has 89% accurate for preterm PE, and also there is another tool that is known as fetal monitoring algorithms. This can be done in the first trimester blood pressure plus Doppler plus placental growth factors, where it has 90% accuracy. The benefits, it is early. If we can make an early detection for preeclampsia, of course, it gives us the chance to start with aspirin for prevention of the occurrence, fewer unnecessary tests that may be costly for the patients, and of course, close monitoring for the high-risk cases. The limitations is the same, that it is the accuracy is not 100%, so there is 10% false positives, and of course it is very costly. Where it is indicated in patients that having a history of having preeclampsia before or having a higher risk of AI results, start with aspirin and extra scan, as we said, and there is if low risk, only routine care has to be done. Regarding the fetal monitoring during pregnancy and how the AI tools can help in the monitoring, this is by two tools. One of them is known as PreGen, which is best for labor and delivery. It works by analyzing the fetal heart rate tracings and maternal vitals in reals, and it provides unit-wide dashboards that highlights higher risk patients and helps busy labor and delivery units to pay attention and reduce missed deterioration of the case. The strengths of this tool that it is successfully developing in many hospitals, and it reduces cognitive load by surfacing high-risk tracings and supports more consistent surveillance for the staff and shifts. And the limitations of these tools are it requires careful integrations with hospital systems, because not all hospitals having highly advanced systems to accept these AI tools, and there also risk of alarm fatigue if thresholds aren't tuned properly. So we also don't have to rely totally on these tools. The other one that can help in monitoring the fetus, it is known as Bloom Life wireless outpatient monitoring patches. It uses wearable abdominal patches for home outpatient monitoring. I think this is very good for the patient, just to reassure that her baby is okay, where captures uterine activity, maternal heart rate, and some fetal signals. It also enables remote tracking of contractions and fetal status, and also it can help the mother just to protect if she goes, especially if she is in the third trimester, if she have Paxton contractions, or that she is going to start her delivery in a very short time or not. And also it helps to reduce unnecessary clinic visits. Of course, that will be beneficial for the mother. The limitations of these two tools is that it requires clinical oversights to interpret signals correctly, and not all captured signals are diagnostic, especially fetal cardiac pulsations. So we always advise the mothers using these tools, just if she feels that there is something wrong, go directly to her clinicians and don't rely 100% that this tool is accurate. Another one is known as Oxyvision's non-contact continuous monitoring, but also it has a limitations where it raises privacy concerns due to continuous video monitoring. It depends on infrared camera-based vision technology and help طبعا clinicians to detect the deterioration irregular thoughts, but طبعا it has a limitation of having that the patient is always put herself in front of the video. That's so it loses her privacy, and there is also susceptible to motion artifacts and lightning variations. So the key benefits of using these tools during pregnancy is that it gives you 12 minutes earlier warnings of decelerations and acidosis regarding the baby, 30% fewer emergency C-sections, and طبعا of course we now in Egypt, or not in Egypt per se, but worldwide we are facing the problem of having increased rate of cesarean sections. So طبعا of course if there is tools that could help to early detections and thus decreases rate, of course this would help a lot. Smart use steps is let's say the AI flag high risk tracing first, where it can save times طبعا in busy units, combined with clinical context as we said before, like warning signs, having meconium in her liquor or not, and also document AI assisted decisions. And like all tools, the limitations are not standalone and always verify with clinical judgment and requires more training. Concerning ultrasound, how the AI tools help ultrasound to be more accurate. AI measures fetal growth, placenta position, and even can detect birth changes automatically. The tools examples are Butterfly IQ, which can turn a smartphone into an AI-powered ultrasound. The applications is growth scan, يعني, as we said before, can follow the growth of the baby, any abnormalities in the scan, making a mapping for the placenta. It can detect anomalies where it is a second reader on the 20 weeks anatomy. We are doing anatomy scan, sorry, where it can flag potential anomalies, but human interpretation is still required for diagnosis. Also coding and billing for that tool. Why this matters? طبعا لأن ال AI doesn't just measure faster, it defines what humans miss. 2.3 more fetal growth restriction cases can be coded before 28 weeks, 60% fewer missed previous in low-risk pregnancies, and earlier anomaly detection. But as we said, and also always insist that AI will not replace any sonographer skills. It can help in confirming of the diagnosis or in raising the suspicions for the sonographer to be sure. Also, there are tools that can help the detection of many other gynecological problems like endometriosis, cervical cancer, and of course, like sexually transmitted infection. If we will go in a hurry, because I know that the time is running out, the tools for detection of endometriosis is known as EndoCheck AI, where it is cleared for transvaginal ultrasound analysis. And I was very proud to attend the launch of a company, a very major company that implement ultrasound tools, and I trained on having the detection of the endometriosis by using ultrasound. It is very, very, very helpful. Another tool is Sonomed AI for detection of PCO, and also another one known as Deep Endo, where MRI based and endometriosis mapping. The clinical impact that it can reduces diagnostic delay from average of 7 years by only one scan, because as we know that endometriosis always takes a very long period of time to detect using laparoscopy or whatever. And also it can guide surgical planning and avoids unnecessary laparoscopy. And from its limitations, that there is always a false negative results in early disease, because it needs طبعا high interpretations and needs high professional and high expert tool, and still require expert view and the training. during for the woman healthcare طبعا it's very important to use these tools as we said because it reduces diagnostic delay. Okay, another problems, gynecological problems, is the cervical cancer screening, where the tool is known as mobile ODT, enhanced visual automated, and this is it acts by automated visual evaluation algorithms where it can analyze acetoid changes, vascular patterns, and lesion border to triage high-risk lesions in real time. So top images cues the AI looks for the acetoid lesions, vascular patterns, lesions disorders, and it has the screening using primary screen where PAP isn't available, and for triage after positive HPV tests, and documentations reports as AI assisted visual triage. Of course, also it has a limitation for not for standalone diagnosis. It has to be helped by biopsy and lighting dependent, ensure proper glare free imaging. What's the future? The future is wearing hormone trackers where it helps in measuring hormone like estrogen, progesterone, LH, and cortisol hormone, where it can use sweat, saliva biomarkers like estrogen 3-sulfate in sweats, 95% correlation with serum hormone levels. How far it is accurate, and I think that it will be, it will help a lot in the detection for the hormonal levels, and real-time predictive AI learns individual hormone patterns over 3 cycles, predict ovulation, adjust for cycle irregularities. Leading devices are the Eva fertility tool, Mira sweat patch, and OVO saliva tests. All those are the coming in the futures. The clinical benefits, of course, to eliminate daily blood draws instead of going to the laboratory and losses blood, so it can reduce this, and also it reduces missed LH surge, which is very important, especially for preparation for cycles of eggs. And future applications that we are waiting for is pregnancy viability monitoring and early menopause prediction and personalized hormone replacement therapy dosing. The challenges, as Dr. Niveen said, is great, and ethical considerations has to be taken. Of course, privacy is one of the major challenges that always face these tools. So sensitive reproductive health data is vulnerable to breaches and misuse. Ensuring compliance with data protection regulations is critical to maintaining trust. Ethical concerns has to be put in mind. Accessibility of AI solutions. Our next step is just to pick up one of the tools we have just mentioned, test in your practice. Especially, I think that using the fetal monitoring is one of the most important tools that can be easily used and will be very helpful in our clinics. Just stay updated for the new tools that always arise, and the technology never stops. And day by day, we found that there is new artificial intelligence tools in our field, and of course, we have to teach the patients how AI can help them for, especially in the field of ICSI success and having safer pregnancy. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Sundus, for this very informative session. I hope it was beneficial for everyone. We can wait like a couple minutes if there's any questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. Anybody has any questions? This is your chance now. There's a question from Dr. Fatma, if you want to answer.
to use AI in cancer cervix, there are two tools, as we mentioned in the slides, where these tools can help in detection of the vascular patterns, the lesions, and the aceto-white changes that could help. But of course, as we said, it is not confirmatory by 100%. So it can serve together with using colposcope just to be sure that the result is okay. AI tools in Egypt now, yes, as I said before, there is one of the major companies for ultrasound have already entered the tool in its machine. I don't want to mention its name. Yes, it is very effective, and we tried it, especially in anomaly scan, in detection of endometriosis and PCOS. Yes, it is already found in Egypt.
Okay, thank you. I think that was all the questions, and thank you very much for your time. This was a very
Thank
interesting.
you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, now we will have a short break for 20 minutes. First, I want to remind everyone to fill out the link again for the attendance certificates. I'm sending them now. And also stay tuned for our next topics. We will also talk about comprehensive modules of AI applications in the IVF journey, which will be the next session, followed by AI in sperm selection detection, followed by AI in oocyte assessment, as well as AI in ultrasound, as well as AI in obstetrics. So please stay tuned for everything else. Right now, I will introduce a short promo video about our upcoming podcasts, and I'll send our social media links in the chat. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. We will start shortly in about 1 minute. Now we will introduce our next speaker, who is Dr. Ashraf Abu Ali. He is a consultant of assisted reproduction. He's director of Medina Fertility Centers and the CEO of Medina Women's Hospital, which I think has the highest success rates of IVF in Egypt, and is a board member of IFRI. So please welcome Dr. Ashraf. He will speak about comprehensive modules of AI applications in the IVF journey. Hello. Hi.
Hello, Toa, and thanks for the American Association for this very nice and well-organized webinar. Actually, I will have a nice talk today about somewhat practical application of AI in our field. My field is assisted reproduction. I am Dr. Ashraf Abu Ali. I am consultant of OB-GYN and director of a chain of IVF centers, and I am currently the president of the IFRI Foundation. I will speak about, can I start slide share? Screen share, okay.
Yes. Yes, we can
Is
see
it
your
shared
screen.
now?
Yes.
You see my screen now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, is it okay now? Toka?
Yes, everything's clear. Yes.
Okay. So our talk today is about comprehensive integration of artificial intelligence along the XC journey from patient interaction to embryo selection. What is the benefit? I'd like to start with this very famous talk by Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but one most responsive to change. So the strongest is the most responsive to change. And this is what we face in AI in our medical applications. The parallel timeline that highlights the advancement of computer science milestones and AI is actually very parallel. The upper timeline demonstrates events during the developmental artificial intelligence journey, and the lower timeline, as we see here, show the essential developments in the field of andrology and embryology. As we can see here, it started from 1973, the first AI winter, till the boom time, till the second AI winter, and then the deep learning revolution in 2012. For the IVF, as we all know, that the first baby delivered at 1978, and then the first micromanipulation for IGZI, it was 1992 in Belgium, and then started the automation, and then started the revolution of AI in IVF in 2019. This paper was published this year for the world's first baby born through fertilization using fully automated AI-driven easy system, eliminating human interventions from all 23 process steps. It was done away in Mexico, and it was away with 3,500 kilometers away. The process were done by robotic. As we see here, all the steps was done by robotic, and this is the first recorded baby delivered by AI control. The hype cycle or artificial intelligence is actually the same thing for every hype cycle for any invention. It started with invention trigger, where the new technologies are born. This is the aha moment, and then the peak of inflated expectations, and then the reality hits and the hype subside and decreases, and then it will start the slope of enlightenment as we see here, and then the plateau of productivity. I think in our field in XZ and application of AI, we are in the stage of slope of enlightenment and plateau productivity. Some AI facts that the publications of AI between the years 2019 and 2024 using the keywords artificial intelligence. If you go for Google and see the keywords of artificial intelligence, the AI, machine learning, and machine learning in XZ, you will find 142 publications. And as we see here, it will increase over years till it comes the largest number in 2024. The number of AI startups projects grow 14 times over the last 2 decades. There were IVF, all laboratory AI laboratory space by the early 2023, but now it is more than 35 startups. The market growth in healthcare is the second in AI services. AI market will grow by an average of compound annual growth rate. This is how we measure the annual growth rate of the market. It will grow by 19% per year till 2028. This figure is very high, and if we want to imagine, it should be between 5 to 10%. But as regards the AI in healthcare, it is more than 20%, and so it has a high impact of economy or economy. The AI adoption rate around the world is very high, and we can differentiate between the countries that deployed AI and the countries that are still exploring. We'll find that developed countries like UK and Canada are exploring more than applying, while we can see that that in China and India they are applying or deploying more than exploring, and the very famous country with that is India. Why the AI is very suitable for the clinical IVF? Actually, the clinical IVF, as we all know, is usually famous with the tailored treatment and personalized treatment. And also, we want to have good predictability in the clinical journey. And so AI is very suitable for predictability and very suitable for tailoring the treatment. Why AI is suitable for IVF labs? We all know that any IVF lab sometimes will deviate from normal, and it is very variable. And so the consistency and the standardization is the job of AI, and it is the most important job in IVF labs. This video is very nice, presented by Jack Cohen in RBM Online. The AI is very important in diagnosis and planning from sperm to egg, and then in ovarian stimulation with AI prediction of initial dose, AI of follicular development monitoring, and AI-based prediction of triggering time. And then the gamete selection, from sperm selection to egg selection and evaluation to the embryo ranking. Embryo ranking is not only morphology, it is morphology and genetics, it is static and time lapse. It is also beneficial in embryo transfer, in prediction of embryo transfer day, in the different protocols like natural cycle and blah, blah. The patient follow-up is very important. AI-powered chatbot for patient support during the journey and after pregnancy. The laboratory, the AI is very important for the laboratory workflow management and also for the laboratory quality control management. And then during the pregnancy by AI-assisted anomaly scan. Actually, we started to apply 10 steps in assisted reproduction modules for IVF clinical journey and lab journey. The first 5 modules for the clinical journey are AI-assisted chatbot with a large language module, and the second is the AI initial dose assessment and outcome prediction, and the third is follicular monitoring by AI assistance. The fourth was the trigger decision. How will we decide the trigger criteria is very important. And the endometrium for frozen embryo transfer and frozen embryo assessment. The other laboratory, as well as the clinical, is very important. It is how to select the testicular sperm and how to easily find the testicular sperm. The second is how to select the normal sperm by the help of morphology or the help of motility or the help of DNA fragmentation. The oocyte evaluation is very important. The grading of oocytes is very important. also the embryo viability and embryo genetics, and so the embryo grading. And lastly, the workload inside the lab and the quality management inside the lab. All of those aspects are aspects that the AI can help a lot in. The online sources versus AI-powered chatbot. The online sources of infertility information, clinics' website often provide suboptimal quality and a lot of marketing facilities behind if we use Google. But actually, if we use AI chatbot, it will offer personalized, offer 24/7 support with conversational and context-aware responses. And it will outperform Google in synthesizing accurate and cohesive answers with fewer searches. And so we started to develop and to use hands-on first Arabic AI-powered chatbot called Dhurriyati, and we apply a very nice and emotional name for the patient. And by this Dhurriyati, we can introduce our knowledge from inside our own IVF center to know all the questions, and to the patient can introduce the question here and can start to Google and can start to have the answer and know the answer from inside the lab. Also, in this application, you can help beside the AI chat PowerPoint to put some videos, and those videos also are made by artificial intelligence to show every steps about the protocols and show every steps about the laboratory and how the injections are taken. Also, we can supply pregnancy calculators that help the patient to know at what week she is and every trimester what she should do and everything about her pregnancy. The second module is AI initial dose and outcome prediction assist. In this model, we can know the outcome prediction. For example, if we put the patient data as regards AMH, age, and weight, and everything, we can see the estimated retrieved oocytes, the number of retrieved oocytes estimated, and estimated metaphase to oocytes, estimated blastocyst, and estimated eubloidy, blastocyst rate and number. Not only this, we can know in the first cycle the chance of 1 live birth rate for this patient, the chance of 2 live birth rate of this patient, the chance of having 3 children is how much for the first cycle, for the second cycle, or the third cycle. And so we can predict the likelihood of clinical pregnancy rate and live birth rate, and we can manage patient expectations, and we can be very transparent in front of the patient. And I think that this is very important in front of the patients nowadays. The second module is the predictive models that we developed in our society in EFRI, Egyptian Foundation of Reproductive Medicine and Embryology. Actually, we use predictive models without real-world data. The AI model for personalized BGTA decision, the AI model for IVF success in advanced maternal age, and I think this is developed by me for the trigger time predictive models. So if you have a patient high responder, you can apply this trigger model. If you have patient intermediate responder, if you can have patient with low responder, you can apply the criteria and decide which day you can trigger. We all know that we can trigger in one day and we can trigger in the other day. And so we have only 2 days to trigger in with the same outcome. And so we can be easily deciding the trigger. It is very important for the junior doctors. It is very important for the satellite clinics. This is the system for initial dose assessment. For example, you start for this patient with this criteria as regards the age, height, weight, and AMH, and you can decide at which dose the optimum number of oocytes. For example, here at 200 international unit, you can obtain 14.9 oocytes, and with 225, you can obtain 15.3, and then it is actually the same. So there is no need to increase the dose after these doses. And so this is very important to save money, and it is very important to decrease the dose, because we all know that the higher FSH you give, the more the progesterone rise possibility and the more hazards to the patient, and the pregnancy rate will not be better. This is actually a very nice model that we started to apply for the ultrasound measuring, automation, and coloring of the oocytes without the use of the 3D ultrasound machines, expensive 3D ultrasound machines. Like in the past, we were using Sono EVC. Now you can use it in any conventional black and white machine, and you can send a small video or sweeping for the picture. For example, if the patient is in Marsa Matruh, in a very far city, and you can send it to the central city where the center IVF is there. It is very important for the satellite clinics. It is very helpful for the junior doctors to know how to measure actually, because it is very easy to sweep, and the AI system will give the oocytes in a table, and it is very transparent for the patients, because sometimes you can gain a lot of immature oocytes. So you can go back for this table, you can in the right time and in the optimum size of the follicles. The fourth application is a trigger assist. We all know that if we trigger in one day, it can give us a good number of oocytes. For example, here, if you trigger in Thursday, it will give you a good number of oocytes. In the next day, it will give you the same number of oocytes. It can give us the same number of oocytes. And so if we increase the days, the number of oocytes started to decrease. And so it is very important to decide which 2 days we can trigger in. If we do this by the help of artificial intelligence, we can help junior doctors to train. We can assure the decision of the senior doctors. And also we can distribute the workload, because in a lot of centers, we have a workload in some days higher than the workload in another days. And this is a paper was published by RBM Online for this trigger criteria module, and found the higher total number of oocytes, higher total number of 2BN, and higher number of embryos was found by using this module. The fifth one is the endometrium. We know that the endometrium is very important for frozen embryo transfer. And also the natural cycle. Now it is very growing to have preparation with natural and modified natural cycle for the frozen embryo transfer. A lot of cases are done now with frozen embryo transfer, and so we need to develop the skill of natural cycle and modified natural cycle embryo transfer for our doctors. And the AI will help in the prediction of ovulation in this patient. We put the input here, and first visit on day 8, no prior ultrasound scan required, but only serum E2, P4, and LH. Then the AI will suggest for you when new labs should be performed, and will detect a pattern between new and old labs results, and will predict when ovulation occurs. We all know that preparation of the endometrium with the estrogen is now developing a lot of queries about the hypertension issue, about the problems in babies. And so if we can balance and go with some natural cycle and modified natural cycle, it will be better for our patients. This was published in Nature journal, which has a very high impact on research, and it shows that there is 10.1% increase in pregnancy rate and 10.4% increase in clinical pregnancy rate in women under 37 using this system, and so it will help a lot. The endometrial assessment, this is a new AI model for assessment of endometrial. There are now actually like 3 companies introducing new AI model, and we expect that in the next ESHRE and next ASRM, we will have a lot of publications and a lot of presentations about that. This system is called EndoScore, and it is from Future Fertility Company, and it evaluates the endometrium. It will give a score from 0 to 10. For a higher score correlates with higher probability that the endometrium will support a successful clinical pregnancy. This was as regards the AI in the clinical journey. What about the IVF laboratory? Actually, I like this figure because usually in all the years of my journey in IVF lab, I usually say that there is a degree of high variability inside the lab. And so the clever IVF lab director is the IVF lab director that can decrease the variability from this high variability to this low variability. There are a lot of drivers of variability that make variability is so much inside the IVF lab, like access to resources, like economic constraints, the lack of uniform data collection, drivers of regulations, mindset and subjectivity, and inadequate variable training and education. But also a lot of drivers of standardization that we can use and we can help with to reach here, like standardization, standardized education and treatment, AI analysis, unified quality management and standards, automated process and procedures, global data collection and collaboration, and intelligent robotics. And so this paper was published in RBM Online this year by Mina Alikani, which is one of the most famous embryologists in New York. And like we see here, it is very important to try in the desirable future state to reach to minimal variability, uniform standards, objective reasoning, process efficiency, outcome predictability and reproducibility, and the data compatibility and equity of care, access to care and sustainability. This is very important. This is our aim. And so, as you can see here, that in the past, it was conventional IVF labs. And then in the current, it is clean room IVF labs plus AI starting integration. In the future, it is AI plus quality management maintenance and lab automation. This is the future of lab. And so the intelligent silent powerhouse is the IVF laboratory. In the past, the silent era, it was manual grading and subjectivity. In the present, it is a powerhouse with time lapse, morphokinetics, standardized protocols, and data informing decision. And the future now, it is starting now. It is the intelligent partner by AI-powered analysis, as we can see, and with the key message that our rule is evolving. We are no more technicians. We are clinicians, and we are lab directors. And so the strongest, again, is the most responsive to changes. We cannot withstand to have freezing in the era of a lot of freeze-all cycles with this non-organized behavior inside the lab. Actually, the labs have changed from the standard to clean room labs, as we see here, bus box, air shower, and bus box here, and watertight, airtight ceilings, and curved angles, and stainless steel wall, and fog-free flooring, and every air particles and air pressure is measured, and 3 types of filters. And so, as we see here, there are 10 criteria to have a clean room as recommended by ISHI guidelines. It is not the subject today, but very important before introducing the AI to apply a clean room like that, as we see. What is the role of AI in IVF laboratory? As we mentioned, it is for standardization. It started from sperm selection, gamete and embryo selection, with assessment or selection of the oocytes and assessment or selection of the blastocyst genetically and morphology. And it could be with static imaging and time lapse. Actually, time lapse is better, of course, because it will decrease exposure. But static, as regard assessment, it could be done, and it doesn't go for a lot of exposure, and so we can do it also. This is a well-known system from the starting, and now it is available a lot of systems for sperm selection. This is called SEED for assisted real-time single sperm selection associated with fertilization and blastocyst formation higher. This system of seed is depending on you choosing the more motile sperm. The more motile sperm is the sperm that have less DNA fragmentation. This is a system for testicular sperm extraction. Actually, we started to use this system, and it is marvelous. It helped a lot the patient of azoospermia. This paper was published in RBM Online by a team from Australia. They invented this system for evaluation of artificial intelligence facilitated sperm detection tool in azoospermia patients. And they found that this system will facilitate 63% reduction in time per sperm selection and 39% reduction in time per dish prepared. And it has got a prize winner in 2024 in RBM Online. As we see here, when the system see a sperm in this very, very rare sample, yes, like here, it will make this rectangle and it will help and guide the patient. I think this is like co-pilot. You know, nowadays in every car, you can see a camera, you can see a sensor, that when you can have to park your car, you will be helped. And so it will be easier. This is the same, and it will help a lot. And we find in our lab, this is from inside our labs, that when we started to use it, we find that the number of sperms with the help of AI in the same area, if we choose the same line or the same field, is higher than that in the other areas. And as we see here, it started to click and to show the sperm. The next system is the outside-assisted AI. The outside-assisted AI assessment for the quality of oocytes. Actually, as a human being, we only can see 3 to 4 criteria of the oocyte, and it will take a lot of time. So if you have 30 oocytes, it is very difficult to see all the criteria at the same time. And so it is very common that you can go in the lab as a clinician and they told you that the oocytes are bad, the batch of the drugs are not good, and these patients has a lot of poor quality oocytes. But now, with the AI, we can help, that we can see a lot of criteria inside the same oocyte, and very quick. And if you have 30 oocytes, you can see all these criteria in the same time and with high quality and high precision. And so it is now very, very clear and very confident. It is not subjective, it is objective. You can see everything that you can judge the oocyte, and even you can have a score like this system from Future Fertility. It is called violet and magenta. Violet for the frozen oocytes and magenta for the fresh oocytes. For the fresh oocytes, it can tell you that this oocyte is very poor quality. In spite it looks good, but it can give blastocyst with only 30%. But this one is a high quality and its score is 7.6, and it can give blastocyst with eubloid blastocyst with 47%. And so it can discriminate between good quality or high quality oocytes and poor quality oocytes. So if the patient have, for example, like 8 oocytes, we can classify the oocytes of the patient to high, intermediate, low, and very low quality oocytes. Can it help in our journey? Yes, it can help in our journey, because in egg freezing, we want to know how much is enough from the oocytes. And in IVF journey, we want to know in high responder patients which embryos to use and which oocytes to use. For example, if we have 14 blastocysts, which one to use? We can use the one which was coming from a good egg, and you can use the one with high grade, because now we are in the era of minimizing the number of embryos to be transferred. In the era that the patient may be not able to freeze all of these oocytes, and we have a lot of blastocysts, especially after the trigger with agonist and freeze all policy. And also in the poor reserve patients, this is very important, because in the poor reserve patients, we can decide till when is enough, because we want to accumulate, and till when is enough, it is very important. And so these are examples of reports that the patient can take, and it makes some very clear transparency with the patient. The next, or maybe the last one, is the embryo selection based on different aspects of viability, genetics, and competence. The embryo competence is the result of genetics and viability. So if we know how much percent this embryo could be viable and how much percent this embryo could be eubloid, we can reach very good results. This is a system from Life Whisperer, as Dr. Asondos mentioned in her lecture, and we can assess the embryo viability, and we can have this report that this blastocyst is 8.4% compared with machine learning. With this score, it is 84% to be viable and to lead to live birth rate and like that. And so we can grade our embryos. And not only from the viability, but also from the genetics. We can see that this embryo is like the euploid embryos, and so it can help a lot, especially in patients who cannot afford BGT. Actually, it was not 100% accurate. It is like 70 to 80% accurate, but it is very nice. Those papers published a lot of literature by RBM Online and Human Reproduction, but actually I like this one by Human Reproduction that compared the decision of the embryologist. Usually the embryologist is very conservative. If we have 1,000 embryo and let them for the embryologist, he can classify most of them between number 3 and 4. And if we have those by the AI, we will have a specific classification. And this is a time lapse. It is better to have time lapse imaging, but actually it is very expensive. This is the literature in Nature, and it was only one randomized control trial. It is very difficult in AI to do randomized control trial because usually when you start with one software application, when you end the randomized control trial, the updates in the software will be changed. And so this is the IDA score 1, but now all over the counter is used the IDA score 2, and it found that this randomized control trial were unable to demonstrate non-inferiority. But it shows 10-fold reduction in assessment time. So if you use the AI, you can have very, very rapid assessment, especially in high number. What is the benefit of AI in the assessment of blastocyst? Actually, the most important benefit is the inner cell mass. I asked David Gardner, who did the blastocyst classification, and asked him what is the benefit of AI in assessment. He told me it is not so much beneficial in expansion nor in trophoectoderm, but more beneficial in inner cell mass assessment. The last lab application, which is very useful, is the workload quality management assistance. Because some labs have in some days like 24 cases, and in another day like 7 to 8 cases or 4 cases. If we use the trigger criteria, as we mentioned, like you see here in the red line, we can be in the middle range, and so you can increase the capacity of your lab without excessive opening of the doors of the incubators, without excessive workload and the need for more embryologists. And so you can distribute your workload, and so you can manage your lab very well. The cryostorage, it is a very great mess to have this picture and to have this problem. And so nowadays, with the help of AI in United States, they started to use like companies to freeze embryos by the end of the day from all the centers in the city. And this company is called Tomorrow Tanks. This is a very expensive tank. It is working by robotic. It is a part of artificial intelligence. And the patients from her laptop can see and monitor the data of her cryostorage. Actually started to make a similar one for renewing and billing solution for those patients. And by this system or software, we can the patient can have alert notification by SMS, by WhatsApp, and by email. And she can open this screen and can see if there is time for that, or if she is in time to renew of the time passed, and can have every details. And even the doctor can know a lot about his cases. The quality control, this is our last slide. I know we are out of time. The quality control in action, the daily checklist this is the next coming era, and we can use some systems like reflection. Also, it is a reflection is a system by Mina Alikani, and it is very simple that any lab director can monitor every step and every chamber and every measurement from even outside the lab, and can monitor everything and can have predictive analysis with AI algorithms through the lab data, and can have decision support through the lab data. And this is not without challenges. I will not repeat challenges again, because a lot of speakers speak about challenges like lack of standardization, like bias in training, like data privacy and consent. And I confirmed again the black box, the opacity in the black box. Here is the human decision. It is very clear, it is very interpretable and very explainable. But the more we go for artificial intelligence, the more we go for black box. And now the good model you use is the model with glass box, not the black box with transparency, not others. And so there are a lot of strengths and a lot of challenges. We published this paper about the SWOT analysis. For that, we can mention that we will still need handle the landing, and it will not substitute us. We are the one who make the final decision making. And as a conclusion, AI will not take your job, but it will take your job to next level. Observing confounders and ethnic variation is very important. So what valid in Egypt may be not valid in Argentina, not valid in USA. The black box need to turn to glass box. The centers, not patients, should pay the bill, as it is up to you to monitor a tool for a co-pilot, the clinician, and the embryologist, not to charge the patient up to the moment, because we are not giving a service for the patient, but we are serving our job. Doctors and embryologists who use AI will replace doctors who don't use AI. Embryologists who use AI will replace embryologists who don't use AI, but computers in healthcare will not operate without human guidance, not in this century at least, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ashraf, for this very nice presentation. This is the time for the Q&A if you have any questions. Someone left that question. Someone was asking, how can I add the system to my ultrasound machine? Dr. Mani.
Actually, those, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. To add the system for your ultrasound machine, up to the moment, it is just available as commercial offers. You can send to companies, and you can start it. It is somewhat expensive up to the moment, but it will be getting cheaper and cheaper as I imagined. Any other question, please? Hello?
Okay.
Can you hear me,
Any
Mary?
more
Any
questions?
other questions there?
I'll tell you. Okay, thank you so much for your time. This was a very comprehensive.
Thank you.
It's beneficial. I hope beneficial for everyone. Thanks a lot. Okay. And now I will introduce our next speaker, who is Dr. Faraz. He's a senior clinical embryologist from the Trust Fertility Clinic in Abu Dhabi. He has a master's in clinical embryology from the Leeds University in the UK and a bachelor's in genetics from Pakistan. Please welcome Mr. Faraz. Hi, hello.
Me?
Okay, can you hear? Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toka, for introducing me, and thank you so much to the participants for joining us today. My name is Faraz, as Toka already introduced me, and I work for the Trust Fertility, which is a very beautiful lab in the center of the Abu Dhabi. And I will quickly just share a couple of beautiful images from my lab. And these are the beautiful images where AI is the central core of our practices as an aiding and decision-making tool. So I would also like to quickly declare that there is no clash of any kind of interest or any sort with any brand or the team of researchers that I will be mentioning across my discussion. I would quickly give you a perspective or quickly give you a highlight of what we are going to talk about today and different uses of AI in different methods or different stages of embryology. But before that, we will quickly go through the current trends and how do they relate to it, and how do we reach to the point that we need the AI to assist us in our decision making. So we have to look at the trends that it is evident that global fertility has been declining gradually since last century. Especially the last 4 decades have been more devastating. In 2025 alone, to sustain the global population, we need around 2.2 live births per woman. But if we have to regain the optimal population to thrive back, this number is then rises up to 3. However, the trends, as clearly visible in this graph, suggest against any possibility of the rise in this number. Now, we all know that live birth is a multifactorial phenomenon, and there are numerous causes behind this decline, among which one of the leading cause is male infertility, or to be precise, rising male infertility. Or we can also say that we are getting good in detecting the subtle nuances in the male infertility patterns and hence label them as infertile. Which ultimately, with the rising demand, with the rising infertility in male, it ultimately leads us to the more demand in infertility treatments across the clinics. This is the data from USA, which is declaring, or which is suggesting that at the moment how much shortage or how much demand there is in the IVF clinics. Also, to tackle this situation, it is not only important to increase the awareness to adapt to healthier lifestyles, to address the core causes of infertility, but also to increase the workforce in the IVF sector to meet this growing demand. We can also safely say that there are around 1,000 expert embryologists available in the USA at the moment, as compared to the 4,000 required to meet the workload and the demand of the infertility cycles. Now, the question here is, what do we do to address this shortfall? Like there can be different strategies, but the two main strategies are to increase the workload, by the way, but which is a long process. But we also need to resort to the use of more technology to facilitate in the practices of the providers. And learning from the talks of our speakers in the webinar today, like Ms. Naveen, Ms. Sundar, and Dr. Ashraf, we know that AI has been critically used in reproductive medicine, and IVF is no exception to this. The use of AI has largely increased the objectivity and the subjectivity of several embryological tests, mainly the semen analysis across the IVF labs. When it comes to the semen analysis as a diagnostic tool, major consensuses or major guidelines in urology, they all point out to semen analysis as one of the initial or primary tests to evaluate the fertility potential of men. The problem is that the semen analysis in its own nature is uncertain, as indicated by this article by Professor Matthew Tomlinson back in 2016. We see that almost every step in the semen analysis faces one or two non-reproducible parameters. And actually, this was a very famous article back in time. I'm not sure if this received any kind of recognition or not, but this observation became the precursor of the horizon of various CASA systems that later on went on to standardize the embryology labs in order to outperform the human testings and reduce the uncertainty or biasness. And this meta-analysis also proved that these computer-aided systems were or are really good in what they do, especially in accurately gauging the sperm count and motility. By the way, these are also available in handheld formats as of now in 2025. But when it comes to assessing the morphology, that's where it faces certain challenges. If there are any artifacts or debris in the sample, the system will be limited and will not give you the accurate results. And on top of that, these equipments require extensive maintenance and operational care, which roughly increases the labor rather than reducing it, which was the ultimate aim of introducing these CASA systems. That's where AI can also help us in handling this bias from the CASA systems. So recently, a few of the AI algorithms were applied along with these CASA systems to assess the morphology of live or unstained sperms, which was a challenge for the conventional CASA systems. And they performed exactly as a CASA system would have done with the stained and immotile sperms. So these systems with the AI integrated give us more accurate idea because they do not use any kind of staining, and we know that staining also has some kind of effects on the sperms. These images that you see is an evidence of this system that was able to capture the images of the same sperm at different intervals, confirming that this is a normal sperm from different angles. I would also show you that to give you a little perspective, what does it mean in real life image of CASA system generated motility patterns and morphology from a raw semen. But the cherry on the cake is that along with all these capabilities of tracing the motility and tracing the morphology of the sperm, these AI systems can also keep track of past reports and trends, as well as they provide a linear pattern of either decline or improvements in the main infertility over different intervals or after certain treatments. This pretty much, I think, empowers the clinicians to take better decisions along the way while they are addressing the infertility cause. And it does not stop there. If we go into deeper understanding or deeper investigation of semen analysis, we would know that DNA fragmentation is one of the leading cause of infertility, and to assess the DNA fragmentation of sperm is really a daunting task and requires a very keen and experienced eye. So these systems can also detect the patterns of single or double-stranded DNA breaks and DNA fragmentation. And it does that also on the unstained live sperms. And one of the sample reports I will just share with you in a while. So this is just a sample report for your reference, and where you can see that the system was able to detect single stranded DNA fragmentation or double stranded DNA fragmentation. Now my question is to everyone that what do we do when we have these sperms in a dish in front of you and you must select a sperm manually to fertilize an egg, which takes me to my topic of sperm selection. So this is what an embryologist will pretty much look in the microscope when we are selecting for sperms to inject in an oocyte. So we mostly rely on the appearance of the sperm head, their motility patterns. But over the years, we have relied on different washing methods or different isolation methods to be able to extract healthier sperms. But despite finding a good sperm from a bunch of washed sperms that you are seeing now on the screen is really a challenge. But as the demand of the workforce increases, it is now important. Just let me play this video again. Okay, so I was discussing that despite the finding that finding a good sperm from this cohort is really difficult task. But with the rise in the workload and not having enough time to train our new staff, we can ask AI to come and help us again. And I would like to thank Dr. Ashraf again, who discussed the potential of SID already. So I will quickly move on to the practical, or I will show you the sample. How does it quickly work? So here we are again taking help from a modern AI tool to select the best among those optimal sperms in the shortest possible time and with just basic skills. And this has resulted evidently in improved outcomes. Shortly, my senior colleague will walk you through those outcomes. Here is a look at the selection tool. It identifies the optimal sperm, and it also helps you identify optimal morphology and leaves the decision to you. But by our practice, we know that the sperm have now become a rare commodity. And some samples, for example, non-obstructive azoospermia or obstructive azoospermia even, where there are little to no sperms to select from, or sometimes it is even hard to find a single sperm that you can see in this slide. I will show you. It's really impossible to find Scrum even by spending a couple of time and couple of hours, in fact, sometimes. So it turns out that there are plenty of AI tools that recently have been validated to support the embryologists in our daunting task. Well, recently these tools were showcased at ESHRE, and these tools were superior in detecting these sperms in a pile of testicular tissues as compared to even most skilled of the embryologists, which not only reduces the time to search a sperm, but also points out to optimal sperm for your XC. I'll quickly show you how this tool helps. I'm sure Dr. Ashraf already have pointed towards it, but this is the real scenario that we have done in our lab for our fertilization purposes. So you can see that with the visible eye or with the naked eye, it's really hard to detect a sperm, but the system was quickly able to point us in the right direction, and from there onward, an embryologist can take the command. And as Dr. Ashraf mentioned, that the landing is the main part, and that's where we come in. Now, last but not the least, of course, there's a group of scientists in Columbia University who were able to develop a concoction of AI and automated capillary plus dark field microscopy system that was able to isolate the only sperm that this male had, and he was a non-obstructive azoospermia patient. And they also declared or announced a live birth out of this sperm. At this point, it is unclear that it was the same sperm that we just saw in the video that caused this pregnancy, but this system has real potential to lead us to the same outcomes. Okay, so now where does the future take us? This all what we shared, all Ms. Sundas, Ms. Nermeen, and Dr. Ashraf showed us, makes me look at the future in a very fascinating and very brightly. Actually, we are moving toward an era where the personalization in IVF, precision, and autonomy is going to become the major choice. We are moving toward in a direction where we will be able to customize the treatment for all age groups, for all sample types. Automated AI systems and nanobots have also jumped in the race to help us. This is a quick video of how the nanobot can help us. And I feel that it's really fascinating how this nanobot is selecting a specific sperm and taking it to the oocyte to mine it. And even though it's in the very early trial phases, yeah, but it's really promising. Also, we will soon need to have automation jumping in the system. In fact, there is a system called Aura somewhere in Mexico, which is already doing automation in the IVF and doing pretty much all the stages in embryology, taking the help of the AI. At last, to put it simply, other than ethical or technical challenges that Ms. Nermeen discussed in her conclusion, AI is already here, and it's making huge impact in reproductive medicine. And it's wise to leave the floor open for imagination for the future outcomes. This field is full of burnout as well as tough decision making every day. So I personally would love to see that fully capable and independent AI automated system to alleviate us from this stress and make us relax as this guy is. And I would love to thank everybody, especially the American Association, for giving us this chance. And you guys have been a great audience. Thank you for letting me present my point of view in this presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your very wonderful presentation. It's an honor for us to have you with us. Thank you. If anybody has any questions, this is your time. If you'd like to leave any questions. Okay, well, if there's any questions that we receive, I'll make sure you get them. And
yeah,
thanks
sure,
for your time. This was a very informative
session.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Okay, and now we'll introduce our next speaker. who is Dr. Loren Liff. She is a senior embryologist with over 10 years of experience. She has a master's in reproduction development from the Lebanese University, and she also has an ISHRI clinical embryologist certification. So please welcome Dr. Loren. Hi, how are you? Let's unmute. Hello. Hi. I can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself? Hello.
Okay. Is it working now? Yeah.
I can hear you now. Yes.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you for your
Hi,
kind introduction. And let's start.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will share my screen as a start. Okay. Everybody is able to see the screen? Is it showing?
No.
No?
No, it's not.
Okay, a second, 1 second. Showing now?
Yes, no.
Yeah, okay.
Presentation mode?
Yeah, no, it's okay. Okay, shall we start? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Loren Altaif, and I am a senior embryologist at Trust Fertility Clinic in Abu Dhabi. It's a pleasure to connect with all of you online today. Today, I will be presenting a lecture titled Beyond Vision, and I will be focusing on the applications of artificial intelligence in oocyte and embryo assessment. So to start with, in vitro fertilization has been a life-changing breakthrough in fertility treatment, and it gave hope to millions of people that were struggling to have children. But behind the scene, the IVF process is a very complicated and a complex one, starting from the ovarian stimulation, followed by oocyte pickup, handling, sperm analysis, oocyte insemination, embryo development, genetic testing, cryopreservation, and finally arriving to the last step in an IVF procedure, which is the embryo transfer. All of these steps requires precision, high precision, high coordination, and of course, an expert care to finally lead and arrive to a successful pregnancy and a live birth. Today, I will be discussing with you the different application of artificial intelligence with a focus on the oocyte and the embryo assessment. So let's start with the artificial intelligence with the focus on the oocyte quality assessment. Unlike sperm, like my colleague Faraz previously presented, where millions are assessed and we can choose from millions, every single oocyte here counts. And we will today discover how the artificial intelligence applications can help us in improving our oocyte assessment and oocyte evaluation. As per the Istanbul Consensus definition or description, an optimal oocyte morphology is an oocyte with a spherical shape enclosed by a uniform zona pellucida with a uniform translucent cytoplasm, free of any inclusions and a size-appropriate polar body. And of course, we have a lot of different abnormalities that can occur, and these abnormalities can be grouped into different categories. It might be an extracytoplasmic abnormality. It might be an intracytoplasmic abnormality. It might be an abnormality related to the shape, related to the size, and of course, we might have multiple abnormalities residing within one oocyte. The early studies of the oocyte morphology did not support that there was any correlation between the oocyte quality and the oocyte quality and morphology with the IVF outcome. But with the studies and with time, this idea was changed, and the oocyte morphology and quality assessment became a stronger predictor for any IVF cycle. But where is the problem and where is the gap? The problem is that so far the oocyte grading and analysis system is largely subjective, it is inconsistent and non-standardized. So how can we fill this gap and what is needed? The need here is for an objective reproducible system that help turning morphology assessment into a reliable predictor. In other terms, we want to search for a solution where the morphology assessment, which is a quality assessment, can be turned into a quantitative number or in other terms, into a reliable predictor. And the solution here is by having artificial intelligence software that can ensure a consistent and a productive assessment. And this was also addressed by the ESHRE and Alpha Istanbul consensus in 2025. They discussed in details where was the knowledge gap and what was their recommendation, which they really focused on the use of the artificial intelligence in the oocyte assessment. So before we start exploring what is available as for the artificial intelligence softwares in oocytes, I would like to say that everything that I will mention now is not an advertisement. Neither my clinic also is affiliated with any company. It is strictly for today's educational discussion and support. So to start with, what is available in the market for the oocyte analysis? This is one software where we upload pictures of oocytes. It's actually a cloud-based software, and it is an AI-driven static image analysis system that evaluates the oocyte quality from only analyzing the pictures, and it provides a score for each and every oocyte to give us a ranking of the oocyte and the predictive developmental potential of this oocyte. When the score is higher, it means that the oocyte has a higher developmental potential to reach to a blastocyst. When the score is lower, it means that the oocyte has a less potential, less developmental potential to reach to a blastocyst. There is also another application, and I believe Dr. Ashraf also discussed these applications. So this software here, it provides for us two different reports or two different analysis. One is addressed for the patients that are undergoing an IVF treatment, in other terms, that is undergoing an ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. And in this report, which is called Magenta, of course, it is the same concept as the previous AI software. We upload the pictures, and after uploading the pictures of the oocytes, we will be ranking these oocytes and categorizing them into 4 different categories. And these categories will give us an objective measure of the oocyte quality and a score that can let us know if this oocyte has a high potential, low medium potential, medium high potential, or a high potential to reach to a blastocyst. In addition, this also software gives us an insight on the euploidy, which is currently is under also development and more studies. It also gives us the percentage of having or what is the percentage of this oocyte to turn out to be a euploid blastocyst based on the analysis of the algorithm. The other type of report that we can generate is addressing two different category of patients. These patients are coming for the egg freezing program. They are coming for egg freezing accumulation, and this report is similar to the Magenta. It's called Violet report, but it's only addressed to the patients that want to have egg freezing. Of course, it offers an insight into the oocyte potential. It aids the gynecologist and, of course, the embryologist to counsel the patient properly. And if the patient, for example, will have a pool of oocytes that has lower predictive score to reach to a blastocyst, we might offer the patient the option to have another cycle to have a reasonable and a proper number of oocytes that later will be supporting her future fertility journey and have higher chances of having a blastocyst in the future. So let's make things more interesting and have some examples. These are live examples from our laboratory. So in this example, I am showcasing for you for same patient 4 different oocytes. These oocytes have different kind of abnormalities, if you would like to say, coming from the polar body size to the polar body integrity to the perivitellin space, which is large in this oocyte. So this patient age is 37 years old, and we collected for her 6 oocytes, and 4 of them were mature. Let's see what the software gives us prediction. And we can see that 3 oocytes, as showcased here, they have they are ranked as oocytes with high potential to reach to a blastocyst with scores of 9.9, 8.6, and 9.6, compared to the first oocyte, which is in the group of low medium potential to reach to a blastocyst. So let's see what actually we got as an outcome for this patient. Surprisingly, we got all 4 oocytes reaching a blastocyst. Of course, the quality of the blastocyst differs from one oocyte to the other, and we have to say that reaching a blastocyst or the embryo development does not only rely on the oocyte quality. Oocyte quality, of course, plays a huge role and a huge factor in the embryo development, but also it is a multifactorial process. So let's move to another example. In this case, we have an oocyte for a patient that is 40 years old. And I have to mention that the algorithm of this software takes into consideration the number of oocytes collected, the number of mature oocytes, the age of the patient, and of course, whatever the algorithm can detect from the oocyte analysis. So we can see that we have kind of a flat polar body here, and we have a small irregularity in the ooplasm edge in three different locations. So when we run the prediction of the artificial intelligence software, it gave us a ranking of 2, which is a very low ranking of an oocyte and a very low potential to develop into a blastocyst. And what actually we got, that we have an embryo at an age of day 6 that is actually arrested at cleavage cell stage. And this is the last example for this part of our presentation. We have a patient here having 3 oocytes. Apparently, we have different kind of abnormalities. We have some cytoplasmic inclusions, we have large PVS, and we have some inclusions and debris inside the perivitellin space. This egg example, for example, have also a fragmented polar body. Barely we can see it. And here we can see that polar body looks a bit acceptable in comparison to the first one. I have to also mention that the system or the algorithm can detect the shape of the polar body even if it's not in the proper focus, because it divides the oocyte or the picture into different pixels and can detect even if the polar body is not in a good focus. So what actually we got for prediction, I have here only 2 oocytes for the prediction. So I have the first one, it was 0.7, and the second one was 5.8. And actually what we got was an arrest of the the one that has 0.7 as a score. It is an arrested embryo at a partially compacted stage, and we can see that there is some degeneration here. The second embryo, which had a higher, the second egg, which had higher score, gave us a blastocyst at an age of day 5. So this was the showcasing of different examples with the application of the software, of the artificial intelligence software, in analyzing the oocytes quality. So now let's move to the artificial intelligence application and embryo quality analysis. And as we all know that embryo selection has always been the center of any IVF success. And we will, of course, discuss what are the applications for the embryo assessment and embryo evaluation throughout this presentation. Before we start, I would like to say that there is 2 different kinds of embryo evaluation. We can have the static imaging, which is also the same concept of uploading an image of a blastocyst, an embryo, a blastocyst. This is a blastocyst, okay, to the cloud-based software, and then we will be getting a score. Whenever the score is higher, means, and of course depends on whatever the software will give us as an outcome. Either it might be a viability score, either it might be a live birth potential. So we will get a score. Whenever the score is higher, means also the potential to have a live birth or a positive outcome higher. And we can have another option, which is the morphokinetics and time-lapse imaging with the assistance of the artificial intelligence to have a prediction for each and every embryo. To start with, the updated guidelines offer a key recommendation covering, of course, timing, morphological criteria for assessing an embryo, starting from zygote stage, arriving to the blastocyst stage. So, of course, we have also the assessment of the embryo at an age of day 2, day 3, day 4, and of course, when we reach to a blastocyst, we will be having the assessment of three important key points, which is the stage of expansion of the embryo, the quality of the inner cell mass, and the quality of the trophectoderm, to finally having a final morphological assessment of an embryo. So again, where is the gap and how we can fill it? Also, the embryo grading is limited, and it's limited by the subjectivity and, of course, the variability. And we can fill this gap. What is the need, actually? The need is for an objective and reproducible system. How we can fill this gap is by also ensuring to have an artificial intelligence software that can help us translate the morphology of the embryo into an objective and inconsistent predictive score. So let's start with what is available as a static image analysis. As I explained earlier, these kind of softwares uses a deep learning algorithm to analyze embryo images, and they provide a score that can help us predict the implantation potential and support embryo selection. These kind of software are helpful in case you don't have a time-lapse equipment inside your laboratory. And it's cloud-based. You can just download the software and start using it by uploading only the images of the oocyte without the need to have all the details of all the development of the embryo. So, as I said, it's cloud-based and designed to integrate easily into existing IVF. Also, there is research that are, or it's currently being researched, the application of these algorithms into the prediction of the also euploidy state of this embryo, because you, as you know, that we in IVF clinics we offer also genetic testing of the embryo to see what is the profile of the diploidy of this embryo, and there is now studies that are exploring. Studies and of course AI application, exploring how we can use the AI in helping us have a predictive score also for the euploidy state of. So this is another example of also a deep learning based system that also ranks the embryos within a cycle, and it gives us a probability also of being a euploid embryo and having a positive pregnancy test later on. It provides a consistent objective support for embryo selection while also supporting but not replacing the clinical decision making. So these are different kind of embryos that you upload the picture, you have a score, and whatever embryo you will have that has a higher score, this embryo will have a higher potential to give us a positive pregnancy result later on. So now let's move to the second available AI application, which is using the morphokinetics and time-lapse imaging. As you know that the time-lapse imaging system capture continuous images of the embryo as they develop, and it provides a detailed record of their morphological changes, starting from the appearance of the pronucleus until we reach to the last stage of the embryo development, passing by, of course, the 2-cell stage, 3-cell stage, 4-cell stage. So each and every step is recorded, and you can see here in this example, we can have also the proper timing for the appearance or for the event that occurred during the embryo. And finally, we can have also the quality of the inner cell mass and the trophectoderm also recorded in the time-lapse imaging. So what artificial intelligence can help us during or with this time-lapse imaging? Here the AI uses also a deep learning algorithm, and this algorithm is trained on thousands of embryos, and it can automatically track all the morphokinetics event, as I showed you before, for all the embryos. It analyzes the development patterns and translate that into a predictive score. And as you can see, these are the embryos that are available here. And we will have, after running, of course, the algorithm test, we will be having a score. Whenever the score is higher, again, it means that the embryo will have a higher potential to give us a live birth. So let's make also things interesting and have some examples. In this case, we have a patient with untested embryos without performing genetic testing, and we have 3 embryos that are available for transfer. So which one? For an embryologist, I have my own criteria and morphology assessment, and I will choose the embryo based on its expansion, on its development, and of course on the quality of the inner cell mass, which is the core of the embryo, and the quality of the trophy. Let's see what the AI has to offer for us as a prediction. We can see that the embryo number 2 had a higher score compared to embryo number 1 and embryo number 3, which they had similar or close scores, if we can say. So what we did for this patient, we transferred the first embryo, which had higher score, and we had a successful pregnancy and a positive fetal heart for this patient. Let's see another example. We had 3 different embryos for this patient. Of course, also untested embryos. She is 23 years old. 23 years old. She is a young patient. So the artificial intelligence software gave us ranked the embryo number 3. If you go back to here, this was the embryo number 3. It ranked it as the highest embryo in comparison with the embryo number 2 and embryo number 1, which have a very close score to the embryo number 3. And we transferred this embryo, and unfortunately, we didn't have pregnancy for this patient. So in other terms, because we cannot only rely on in other terms, if you want to say that the prediction of the artificial intelligence software does not ensure that we will be having a positive pregnancy later on, because it's a multifactorial process, and we need to also counsel the patients accordingly that we might have a chance that we will not have a pregnancy, even if we have a higher score with artificial intelligence. So let's see here a different example of a time-lapse video of 3 embryos for 1 patient. And we will see later on what will be the prediction of the time-lapse artificial intelligence software. And we will see what we transferred and what we had as an outcome. So here we can see the embryos that are developing. We have one embryo, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Some embryos are fast than the other. And we can see that we have a proper development of also the inner cell mass. If we go back here, we have a good quality inner cell mass for embryo number 1. We have a good trophectoderm also, and we compare embryo number 2. We have here, this is the inner cell mass, this is the trophectoderm, and this is the third embryo. So let's see what the software gave us. We can see that embryo number 1 had the higher score. Embryo number 2 had score of 5. The lowest score, and embryo number 6 had score of 5.4. In this case, we transferred this embryo, and we had also a successful pregnancy, and it was a positive pregnancy with a positive fetal heart. So now we showcase the different applications of the AI in oocyte evaluation and in embryo evaluation, but it's also important to address what are the challenges and what are also the concerns. So the challenges of the different AI support tool that we have, it's considered that integrating AI inside a lab to be expensive. Data set used by some of the artificial intelligence softwares available in the market are based on small single center data set. There is a lack of large-scale clinical validation in some, and the studies sometimes rely on a homogeneous patient population, which limits the diversity in data and might increase the bias in decision. So these are the challenges. What are the concerns? The concerns are basically related to the ethical concerns. It's related to the data privacy, because you are obviously sharing patient data with the software. So it's important to ensure that the software has a proper data privacy to ensure a smooth and a secure process. Reliability and accuracy. Regulatory oversight also is one of the concern. Dependency on the technology and lack of human touch. So as a conclusion, the integration of artificial intelligence into IVF practice holds great promise for transforming this field by improving, of course, personalization, efficacy, and success rates. It is considered a powerful support tool for embryologists, providing objective and consistent guidance in gamete and embryo selection, while, of course, reducing subjectivity and variability, which is the role or the importance of using an AI software. And continued research, regular model updates, and collaborative effort among experts in various fields will be crucial to ensure that the application of the AI in IVF remains accurate, equitable, and effective. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lauren.
Yeah. Any questions from the audience?
We can wait 2 minutes if there is any question.
We have a suggestion of I choose embryo number 3. Thank you, Sheila.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Lauren.
You're welcome.
It was a great session.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present, and good luck for the.
It's our pleasure. Thank you. Okay, now we want to welcome Dr. Rehab Al-Said. She's a professor of OBGYN and consultant of fetal and maternal medicine, ultrasound in OBGYN Faculty of Medicine, Alexandria University. She will discuss today AI in OBGYN ultrasound. Thank you so much, Dr. Rehab.
Hello, everyone. You hear me? Okay. Thank you for the American Association to share with me this opportunity to be with you here.
Thank you so much. You can start now.
I'm Rehab Saeed, and we can start. Okay, everyone hear me? Hello? Hello? Everyone hear me? You
Yes,
can hear me
Doctor,
now?
we hear you. Yes, we hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, it's my pleasure to have be with you in the American Association about this AI hub. My subspecialty is an ultrasound in obstetrics and gynecology, and getting how the AI is smarter for decision for ultrasound. I have no disclosure because a lot of the softwares, a lot of applications will be already addressed in my presentation, but I have no disclosure with any of the manufacturers. Artificial intelligence stems from our natural biological intelligence. So the man and the human being is already doing the artificial intelligence and using a lot of these data. We are drawing in data. Leadership means confidence, and the confidence means data. With a lot of the databases, a lot of the information, we have a problem. The problem how to go what is through data management. AI solved the problem is describe the ability of the computer-based program to perform processes associated with human intelligence, such as reasoning, learning, adaptation, sensory, understanding, interaction. And this is very important in medical practice. AI already used in everyday practice, like a face recognition, like a Siri, like a Netflix, Spotify, a customer service, or even a Google Map. So we are using the artificial intelligence from different ways. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, neural network, a lot of the already terms of the breakthrough of the AI, which it is very important to know it's a real-time guidance, image quality enhancement, conventional networking for a precise medical decisions. One of the promise of the AI already published 2006 is once we have enough data, we can lead and everything we have a solution. And we can now go through the AI ability. Promising of the AI applications is for screening, prediction, triage, diagnosis, drug development, treatment, monitoring, imaging, interpretation, and for the decision-making and practice. What about the AI in obstetric and gynecology, in ART lab, in surgery, in robotic surgery, prenatal care, in gynecology, and in ultrasound? AI in medical imaging is still the major advances because deep learning based on a computer vision. And computer vision means to rely on to identify a picture as the same picture like a human eye can process. And with applications of the AI ultrasound with the machine learning from a pattern recognition, anomaly detection, deep learning, and real-time imaging segmentation, integration of the report and generation of a data, automated scan pathways and optimization, and later on for what is called generative AI for image enhancement and diagnosis and data augmentation. And from this, AI support the clinician for acquiring, analysis, and interpretation. According to the FDA, approved in November since about a couple of weeks, about more than 1,000 artificial intelligence enabled medical devices images. And the most important is the radiology and the least is the obstetric and gynecology. This is the bias because OB-GYN already used an ultrasound and the radiology. So we are using even ultrasound much more. Now, what is the future and how can the AI can change our practice in ultrasound in obstetric and gynecology? And from the point of view, the ultrasound practice shifted from an image of a diagnostic tool to screening. But we have a persistent challenge, operator-dependent, interpretation variability, expanding anomaly spectrum, image quality, machine performance, workload of pressure. And this is very important. One of the most important obstetric ultrasound is a challenging because it depends upon the sonographic experience, the machine capability and configuration. Fetal movement inside a moving mother, inside a uterus, and even moving structures like a heart inside the fetus moving, it's everything have a dynamic changes. Organ specification and development, maternal condition with a placental position and obesity can hinder the image quality. And even the dynamic changes and the problem of the anomalies or position of any organs. Dynamic changes of the cervix and others, it already can have a difficulty to have be interpreted by AI. For innovation of the apparatus to coming ultrasound from years to imagination to reality to imagination, how they clear the images nowadays and getting a lot of these details, the image is very important. And now, according to the database, there is a lot more than 2,000 since 2015, 2,000 paper already published about the importance of the artificial intelligence and deep learning and its validation in OB-GYN ultrasound. And this is leading the whole, the societies and the medical societies to have a task force and the challenging to have a guidelines for management of the AI in the ultrasound. And just about 1 week ago, the International Society of Ultrasound of Obstetric and Gynecology already have a statement of positioning of the AI in ultrasound, supporting the using of it with educational program, enhancing patient outcome and others. And now, what are the applications? A lot of the softwares, a lot of the devices, a lot of manufacturers already help us either for the probe, sensors, or even for the database management. The role of ultrasound in obstetric ultrasound is for automation, improve the plan detection, screening the performance, improve the accuracy, improve the workflow and the education, enhance the prenatal care. And this is coming from the start, from probe manipulation, image recognition, image classification, and the anatomy, anomaly scan, and the feedback of improvement. One of the most important is a prop manipulation. It's because the ultrasound is an operator dependent. And this is one of the robotic assisted ultrasound for fetal imaging. It is under practice. It is one of the King's College already published 2019. And the image recognition, the automated descriptive, the ultrasound, and mainly for the heart, is beginning about 8 or 10 years ago to identify the structure of the four-chamber view. And not this also, but it's the recognition of the automation of the labeling of the every part of the heart and every part of the structure to be known as normal or abnormal or whatever. Also, recognition in the what is called, it is not used or the minimal used addressing the problem. We have the artificial what?
We can't see your slides. Do you have your slides shared?
Already, I'm sharing it. I'm not stop sharing.
Can you share it again because we can't see it?
Okay.
We still can't see the presentation.
I just now. Okay.
You can send it to me and I can share it. If you can.
All of it is not shared?
No, we can't see it.
At all of the above? Okay.
You can send me your presentation. I can share it.
It's very large. I will be shared now. Okay. I will be just quoted and coming in. You know, it's seeing my presentation. You can see now?
Yes, now we can see the screen. Yes, thank you.
Okay. About the image recognition, the identification of the heart and the whole the parts of the heart, the four-chamber labeling it, and knowing it is normal or abnormal, it's very important. Also for identification of different parts of the fetal parts, or for what is called the non-trained or mini-trained sonographers, to know this is the spine, this is the cervix, what is this? This is the heart, this is the placenta. And now AI can improve this by the identification and can labeling even for the what is called the non-trained sonographers about this is the placenta and hence location or whatever. And also not labeling only the main part, but labeling only the normal structure of everyone. It is one of the applications for one of the software ready for the fetal CNS and fetal brain. And not also the recognition of the parts, but for biometric measurements and for identification. And this is validated one of the softwares. Automation, animation or labeling is very important. And animation using the softwares as the AI is very important for to be rapid and completely. Fetal heart CNS is a very important part to be labeled as easily and be very fast during the span. Fetal intelligence navigation, what's called the FINE novel method for the published by Roberto Romero and Lenyu since about 12 years ago. It's for validation for labeling and recognition by one of the softwares about the AI. And now AI already, in the systematic reviews, already validated this can diagnose what's called the fetal cardiac abnormalities. Only the labeling, not only the labeling, but also we can assess by what is called the sonovoice assist, and not using even except your hand for manipulating your probe. But it's very important to know automation. It is not only for the this, but also for the automated labeling. We can use what is called the sonopiometry for measuring every part either by the 2D or by 3D volume. And also this is very important to save time. It is a workflow guidance, especially in difficult cases. Sonopiometry is very important for automated every part inside during fetal scan. This expanding access is very important for many trained users and for untrained users in a very wide areas like here in the very far East and Middle East. Acquisition assistance is very important, especially for the main parts, to know what is the part we can swap it. And it is already validated in one of the software enabled to have an access for a good gestational age biometry just by application to interpreting between the gestational age according to the clinical height. And by this way, to just an AI software to have a three lines and perpendicular to each other. And this is already validated and already published about 2 years ago about it's validated, it's very accurate as it 1 week difference between the assessment of the gestational age in the window below 28 weeks. So AI can really help in screening pregnancy, either in first trimester, second trimester, and fetal growth and placental association. And this is one of the validated studies about the first trimester anomaly scan and MT measurements, and also in the second trimester. And this is one of the General Electric software, which is called the Sonolist and AI automation about labeling every part, every starting, it is normal or abnormal, and optimize the view and labeling it even for the difficult cases of the fetal heart and fetal anomaly scan. And this is already validated by much slide. And one of the software already published, it is a Sono Assistant. It's not only for analysis of our exam or assistant, our exam, but for optimization for the views and also for labeling. You are verifying complete your exam or not. If you have missing something, it will be identified, it collect the data and saving the images and the semi-loops and every part of your scan, and later on will be generating the report, and this is improving your fetal scan and alerting what it is detecting abnormal or normal. Also, it is very important to have an assessment for searching the database for teratogenic risk, for searching for congenital malformation, searching for what is missing in your scan, integration this in all reporting, for auditing for different parts. And this is very important for what is called auditing on a wide basis and abroad. We can manage this online with other stuff. And it's very important to know what is the important about your scan. Smart 3D is one of the softwares which is already used either for the CNS for identification these different parts of the CNS and fetal brain, and also for qualification of the parts like the intracranial volume and the measurement of some structure like microcephaly, and also for the spine and identification of the different parts of the spine and identification of these involved. One of the most important applications is what is called generation of comprehensive detailed reports, either for detailed report of ultrasound, the fetal echo, and with counseling and with its database. And what is the fun? It is the imaging quality and the eye projection of the fetal face like the human being. And this is already published by Samsung technology, what's called the portrait view technology to elevate the fetal image to coming in reality. And now, obstetric will be an artificial intelligence. No, it is need your doctor, need your assistant, and you need obstetric ultrasound. What about the psychology, automated analysis, measurement, clinical support, improve accuracy, reduce operator variability? All of this, it is already driven by one of the important models within IOTA. It's already in the machines used just for applying the imaging and also follicular monitoring measurement just by a click on the 3D volume to mapping, and also mapping of the fibroid with its position and its relation to the endometrial cavity, and measurement of the volume and getting a plan for your access for your surgery, either laparoscopic or other. Also, AI is very improvement for the pelvic floor to have identification of the hiatal area and the fact and the elevator in eye regions or whatever. And all of this validated study also for measuring the endometrial density and assessment of endometrial volume, endometrial blood flow, endometrial thickness or whatever. And this is very active. But in AI, we have an ethical and practical consideration concerning the clinical validation, algorithmic bias, and data privacy, transparency, but needing more governmental and AI ultrasound algorithm multiple researches for assessment of the clinical decision support and quality assurance and training for the future. So it enhances diagnostic confidence, reduce operator dependence and interoperator variability, provide real-time decision support, improve workflow efficiency, enable telemedicine and remote expert reviewing, but lack of transparency, limited generalizability, ethical problem, cost is very important and need for continuous updates of this software. Integration of the multimodal AI, ultrasound, genomics, clinical data is very important. Real-time adaptation algorithm with updated system, a governmental AI system, preserving the patient privacy, AI-based predictive obstetric and gynecology, like preeclampsia, growth restriction, educational integration in ultrasound and certification. AI can help me, AI can help the physician and never hurt in screening, diagnosis, planning, guidance, counseling, management, prognosis, and even reassessment. And finally, AI learning lesson is AI won't replace a human being, but human who know and how to use AI will replace those who cannot use it. AI can collaborate in telling all the physicians. And thank you, I love an ultrasound. And thank you for your listening. And thank you for the American Association. Thank you for everyone. Okay, I'm waiting for questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rahab, for your session. We can wait a couple minutes for questions for this. There's a question.
Jomana never to be replaced by MRI. Every part the MRI ultrasound have its role in the management. MRI already have the relationship between the soft tissue structures and the relations, the lymph nodes and others. Ultrasound have its own role and MRI have its own role. MRI already AI based, automated, is very important nowadays and already have a lot of innovations.
Okay. That's it. Thank you so much, Dr. Rahab, for joining us. This was a very informative session. I hope it was useful for everyone else. Wait, there's another question from Dr. Sabila.
So you can use it in every case, but in a large workflow units, you have a lot of patients already in the what's called the new advanced machines. AI already in our practice in every patient, in every part. Sonobiometry we are using since about 10 years. Already reporting and generating reporting is already we are using. And even the 3D smart views we can use in every patient here.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Rahab, for your time.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you with us. I want to thank all of the instructors who attended today and all of the attendees, and we hope this was a very beneficial webinar. Unfortunately, our last two speakers have had emergencies and they can't attend, and we hope, inshallah, they'll attend our next webinars. So thank you for everyone. I will now send the link for the attendance certificates again for everyone who didn't fill it out. I'll also send our social media. And thank you all. It was a pleasure to host this, and stay tuned for more projects from the American Association. Thank you.
Thank you.